Chapter 1570. 1570 Title 1570 Under the Sage. Thank you for this heart of darkness. If there is anyone who can use my Wuqing city in the future, I will not decline. Wuqing city continued to speak and bowed heavily to Wang Xian once again. Two sounds of gratitude and two bows. Wuqing city's face was filled with respect and gratitude. However, at this moment, everyone around was staring at this scene in shock. When Wang Xian was shrouded in light, no one could see what was happening inside. All they heard was a majestic roar and a roar. In less than 10 seconds, the crown prince of Wuqing city had recovered. This speed was no different from healing some minor injuries. Qing, you have completely recovered. Patriarch Dark, I had a look of disbelief on his face. He moved and appeared beside Wu Qingcheng. Patriarch, you're worried. I feel like I've completely recovered. Wu Qingcheng looked at the patriarch in front of him and smiled. After being invaded by the darkness, he could still sense the outside world. He could see every move of the outside world clearly. Good. Qingcheng is lucky. Dark Pupil put his arm on Wu Qingcheng's shoulder to sense. When he found that the darkness soul had been removed, he was excited. He patted Wu Qingcheng's shoulder heavily and laughed. It's good that Qingcheng is fine. It's good that he is fine. Brother. The elder holding the dark staff ran over with Wu Qingyan and the rest. Their faces were also filled with excitement. Cough. He managed to expel the soul of darkness at the 7th level of the see-through realm so quickly. This is unbelievable. He actually managed to do it. Doesn't that mean that this priest Wang is even stronger than the forefather of the morning light? Around them, the priests of light were staring at Wang Xian with a complicated look on their faces as they gulped. That's impossible. His strength is only at level 7 of the see-through void tier. How could it be? Patriarch of Dawnlight looked at Wang Xian in a daze as his expression kept changing. Thank you, Priest Wang. I really didn't expect you to have such a powerful ability at such a young age. Patriarch Dark Pupil was in a good mood as he said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian smiled faintly and didn't say anything. Pastor Wang has given me a black veil heart fruit. I reckon that I will be able to achieve a breakthrough soon. Wu Qingcheng looked at Wang Xian and said with a smile. Other than gratitude towards Wang Xian, there was also a hint of admitting defeat in his heart. Such a person was really not someone he could compare to. Pastor Wang, the 3 level 8 light pearls and the 10 level 7 light pearls that you require will be delivered by our Wuji Empire within 3 days. We will not go back on our words. Patriarch Dark, I said to Wang Xian. Furthermore, Pastor Wang has saved the life of the crown prince of our Wuji Empire. Our Wuji Empire will not be stingy. Today, as he spoke, his gaze turned to all the pastors of light in front of him. Today, our Wuji Empire will confer the title of Saint of Light to Pastor Wang Xian. All the families of our empire, those with cultivation levels below the 8th rank of the Void Interpretation Realm, will bow and treat you with respect. The last 2 sentences of Patriarch Dark Eye's voice resounded throughout the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. When the surrounding radiant priests heard Patriarch Dark Eye's announcement, their bodies trembled and their eyes widened. Saint of Light, confer the title of Saint. This was the first time among all the radiant priests to be conferred the title of Saint by Wuji Empire. Furthermore, it was the title of Saint. Especially in Wuji Empire, all the powerhouses below level 8 of the see-through void tier had to bow and treat them with respect. This represented a position, an extremely high position. Even in the royal family of Wuji Empire, many people had to address him as the saint. Glory, great glory. Cough. When the forefather of Dawnlight heard these words, he coughed violently twice and looked at Wang Xian with jealousy in his eyes. The Sage of Light, the title conferred by the forefather of Wuji Empire. This title was equivalent to the strongest among the radiant priests. This made the Elder of Dawnlight, who was standing at the peak of the radiant priests, feel extremely uncomfortable. It was no exaggeration to say that just the title of the Sage of Light was enough to make him one of the top forces in the vast region. Among the Wuji Empire and all the first-rate forces, he was considered a guest of honor. When Wang Xian heard the title conferred by the Wuji Empire, he smiled nonchalantly. Compared to this title, those pearls of light were what he wanted the most. As long as he obtained those pearls of light, he would be able to completely fuse the heart of light and darkness. However, this title is also very useful. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings and noticed that all the priests of light were filled with shock and awe. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. This title represented that he stood at the peak of the priests of light and looked down on all the priests of light. Senior, the radiant pearl will be delivered to the Holy Medicine Clinic in 3 days. I will go there to retrieve it. Wang Xian said to Patriarch of Dark Eye. Patriarch of Dark Eye nodded. Wang Xian smiled and walked towards the location of the Bingxin Empire. Sir Sage. He walked forward. Everyone around him quickly made way for him. Some of the priests shouted in a low voice. When he passed by the people from the Divine Light Empire, he paused for a moment and looked at the Chengguang Patriarch and Tian Qingguang. Sir Sage. A few radiant priests who were at level 7 and level 6 of the see-through realm quickly bowed and shouted with an embarrassed expression. Tian Qingguang clenched his fists. His eyes were filled with helplessness as he shouted as well. Now I have the right to call you trash. Wang Xian took a glance at Tian Qingguang and Forefather Chengguang before walking straight over. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Forefather Chengguang's face was dark and filled with helplessness. He had stood at the peak of his life. He did not expect to be knocked off his pedestal today. In the future, everyone in the world would know that the Saint of Light was number 1. That Saint of Light is walking towards us again. At the location of the Bingxin Empire, when everyone saw Wang Xian walking towards them, they were all astonished. The king of Bingxin's expression changed as well. His gaze landed on Ling Jian. His eyes sparkled as he raised his eyebrows. Ha! Heroes come from youngsters. Saint, I heard that you have a good relationship with Jian. You guys should interact with each other more in the future. Jian is my adopted daughter. We welcome the Saint to our Bingxin Empire in the future. King Bingxin laughed out loud and said to Wang Xian with a smile. Wang Xian was slightly stunned when he saw King Bingxin's enthusiastic look. His eyes were filled with a smile as he said, I might have to trouble King Bingxin then. No trouble, no trouble. King Bingxin shook his head and looked at Ling Jian. Jian, you should have a good interaction with Priest Wang in the future, he said with a smile on his face. Obviously, after witnessing the relationship between Wang Xian's strength and the Wuji Empire, he wanted to befriend Wang Xian. As for who he should befriend, he obviously had an opinion. Chapter 1571. 1571. In 1571, there was a girl growing up. Hello, my name is Wang Xian. Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian, who was staring at him with a twinkle in her eyes. His face was filled with a smile. He stretched out his hand and placed it in front of Ling Jian. Ling Jian looked at Wang Xian, who was standing in front of her. Looking at his palm, she was a little stunned. The statue that appeared every morning, the image of her when she was in danger in the black screen garden, appeared in her mind one after another. Hello, my name is Bing Jian. Ling Jian stretched out her hand and held Wang Xian's hand. After hesitating for a moment, she opened her mouth and said, If you have nothing to do these few days, I can come and look for you, right? Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian and continued with a smile in his eyes. Sure. Ling Jian looked at him, staring at her with a burning gaze. She lowered her head slightly and said softly, "All right, I'll see you tomorrow then." Wang Xian smiled and nodded at the king of Bingxin. He then turned around and walked towards the He clan. Haha, Jian, you should get along well with the priest of the Sage King in the future, understand? The king of Bingxin was smiling happily from behind. However, the ninth prince, who was standing at the side, looked extremely embarrassed when he heard his father's words. He clenched his fists tightly, and his body was trembling slightly. His eyes were filled with anger and unwillingness. Brother Wang Xian. At this moment, everyone from the He clan looked at Wang Xian, who was walking towards them with a strange expression on their faces. In fact, when the Wuji Empire conferred Wang Xian the title of the Saint of Light, their expressions were extremely strange. Their He clan knew that the Sky Demon was Wang Xian, a heavenly demon who slaughtered the ancient city of demons and killed 25 experts at level 7 of the see-through realm, was actually conferred the title of saint by the Wuji Empire. Damn it, if others were to know about this, it would probably cause a commotion. The Saint of Light was the heavenly demon. Who could believe it? Unbelievable. However, knowing the truth, they were filled with reverence towards this Wang Xian. Even an expert at level 7 of the see-through realm from the He clan was filled with awe and respect. It was terrifying to think that a person could be the Sage of Light and the heavenly demon. There are some things that happened a few days ago. Let's have a good gathering today. Wang Xian walked over and patted He Yuan on the shoulder. Haha, sure. I really didn't expect Brother Wang Xian to be able to reach such a level. He Yuan laughed out loud as he spoke. The rest of the He clan also came over to greet him. Wang Xian chatted with them for a while before leaving with He Yuan. At this moment in the vast region, the voice of the patriarch of Wuji Empire shook everyone. Priest Wang was conferred the title of Saint of Light by Wuji Empire. This title was not undeserved. Everyone had to acknowledge the title of being conferred by one of the 3 major forces. In a few hours, the news of Priest Wang using his powerful light technique to expel the rank 7 insightful, void, tear darkness soul from the Crown Prince's body spread throughout the entire vast region. Soon after, the news that Priest Wang had the strength of a rank 7 insightful void tear was also spread out. Soon, everyone was in an uproar. Their faces were filled with shock as they discussed animatedly. Rank 7 insightful void tier. That guy is actually a rank 7 insightful void tier. In Soli sect, the 2 heavens pride experts in heaven and earth had extremely ugly expressions when they heard the news. They looked at each other and clenched their arms with unwillingness. 7th level of the profound void tier, and he was also conferred the title of the Saint of Light by Wuji Empire. With their abilities, there was no way for them to take revenge. Jian, you should rest well and get dressed properly tomorrow. Priest Wang might come and look for you. In front of Ling Jian Yar's courtyard, King Bingxin instructed her with a smile. Ling Jian nodded and walked into the courtyard. Father, didn't you say that you wanted to marry Jian to your son? At the side, the 9th prince, Bingjing Huan, looked at his father unwillingly and said with a trembling body, My son, it's not that father doesn't want to betroth Jian to you. From the looks of it, Jian being able to marry that Priest Wang is the best choice. Not to mention that Priest Wang's strength and potential. Don't forget that one of our forefathers has been invaded by the soul of darkness. If he can be cured, our Bingxin dynasty will have one more peerless expert at the 8th level of the profound void tier. In the future, don't even think about targeting Jian. Be more polite to that Priest Wang. Bingxin King patted Bingjing Huan's shoulder and said earnestly. This caused Bingjing Huan to lower his head, his expression somewhat malevolent. That is the great sage, Priest Wang. It is the great sage, Priest Wang. I heard that he can even expel the soul of darkness of rank 7 of the profound void tier from his body. His light arts are unrivaled. Even the forefather of Dawnlight is inferior to him. He's really amazing. He's already standing at the peak at such a young age. In the future, when he's in the vast region, all the factions will have to be polite to him. The sage looks so approachable. Back then, he saved nearly 100,000 people for free. He's a good person. The next day, when Wang Xian was walking towards the area of the Bingxin Empire, respectful voices could be heard from the surrounding roads. Wang Xian was in a good mood as he smiled and walked straight to the front of Ling Jian Yar's courtyard. Your Highness, the sage, Priest Wang, requests to see you. The maid quickly entered the courtyard and said to Ling Jian, Yes, let him in. Ling Jian walked out of the room with light makeup on. She looked towards the door. Jian. Wang Xian smiled and walked over immediately. Ling Jian looked at the handsome Wang Xian and smiled. Young Master Wang, I have a gift for you. Wang Xian walked forward and took out sculptures one by one and handed them to her. Ling Jian looked at the sculptures and smiled. In the morning, when he didn't receive the sculptures at the door, there was an indescribable feeling in his heart. Now that he saw them, his mood was much better. Thank you. Ling Jian took it and sat in front of a stone bench with Wang Xian. They started chatting. Wang Xian and Ling Jian didn't talk about the past. Instead, they used his perfect tongue to talk nonsense. The morning passed very quickly. In the afternoon, Ling Jian wanted to practice her swordsmanship. Wang Xian thickened his skin and didn't leave. He sat there and watched Ling Jian practice her swordsmanship. When he saw her swordsmanship, he had an idea and called Ao Jian over. Ao Jian practiced the heartless sword principle. Now that he could kill a level 6 see-through void martial artist, his swordsmanship was much better than Ling Jian Yar's. With Ao Jian's guidance, Ling Jian was delighted. She thanked Wang Xian many times. This made him very happy. It wouldn't be long before Ling Jian was taken care of by him. For the next 2 days, Wang Xian spent all his time with Ling Jian during the day. At first, she was still not used to it. However, under Wang Xian's thick skin, she quickly got used to it. Furthermore, her mood was much more cheerful. Her relationship with Wang Xian had improved tremendously every day. Naturally, Wang Xian didn't want Ling Jian to look cold. He teased and teased her every day, which changed Ling Jian Yar's character a lot. Chapter 1572. 1572. In 1572, a girl was growing up. Sir Sage, Your Highness, there's someone outside who wants to see you. For days later, in the morning, a maid came to the courtyard and reported to Wang Xian and Ling Jian. Who is it? Ling Jian looked at the maid and asked. They are here to look for Sir Sage. They want him to help them expel the dark soul from their bodies. They said that they will pay a high price. The maid replied, Wang Xian, it's for you. Ling Jian looked at Wang Xian and said, Tell them to look for me at night. They don't have time during the day. Wang Xian smiled at Ling Jian and said to the maid, Why don't you have time during the day? Ling Jian looked at him and said, Of course, it's to accompany our beautiful Jian. Wang Xian said with a smile, Nonsense again. Ling Jian rolled her eyes at him. Aren't you fast at treating them? You can treat them here. It's all right. I have time at night too. I can't let others disturb our private time. Wang Xian took a sip of the tea on the table and said with a smile, It's all right. I still want to see how you treat others. Last night, the emperor came to me and asked if you could help an elder of the Bingxin Empire expel the dark soul in his body. Ling Jian said to Wang Xian, Oh, is that so? Then tell the king of Bingxin that I will definitely do my best. Wang Xian said with a smile. The king of Bingxin was very good at doing things. Even if he were to treat the elders of the Bingxin Empire for free, it wouldn't be a big deal. All right, I will inform the emperor. Ling Jian nodded her head. Now, she was, after all, a member of the Bingxin Empire. She was also the disciple of the patriarch of the Bingxin Empire and the adopted daughter of the emperor. Let them in. Wang Xian said directly to the maidservant. It's the sage. The maidservant nodded her head and walked out. The sage. Soon, many middle-aged elders walked over. They looked at Wang Xian and cupped their hands respectfully. Wang Xian's gaze swept past them and landed on an elder beside him. The elder was extremely weak and exuded a deathly stillness. Clearly, he had been invaded by the soul of darkness for a long time. He has the strength of a 7th-level void interpretation. As long as the reward is sufficient, I can expel the soul of darkness from his body. Wang Xian said directly, Sir Sage, do you think these rewards are feasible? An elder threw an interspatial ring over and said to Wang Xian, I still have a hairpin of the 6th level of the void interpretation realm here. I'll give it to this lady. A middle-aged man hesitated for a moment before taking out a golden hairpin. He walked to Ling Jianyar's side and said with a smile, right, you guys wait outside. I'll be able to get rid of the dark soul in his body very soon. Wang Xian laughed out loud and said directly to them, Yes. Thank you, sage. Thank you. The group of middle-aged elders nodded their heads excitedly and waited outside. This is for you. Ling Jian looked at the hairpin in her hand and quickly placed it beside Wang Xian. Why are you giving it to me? I don't carry a girl's hairpin. You can take it. Wang Xian smiled and waved his arm. The hairpin was inserted directly into her hair. Humph. This made Ling Jian snort softly. However, her eyes were filled with joy. Clearly, she looked like a young girl in love. Buzz. At this moment, the luminous dragon bead flew out from Wang Xian's body and enveloped the old man. Wang Xian had already received the bunch of luminous pearls sent by the Wuji Empire and had them absorbed by the luminous dragon bead. Before long, the luminous dragon pearl would be able to evolve to the 8th level of the see-through realm. The darkness soul in the old man's body was only at the 6th level of the see-through realm. With his strength, he could easily get rid of it. Very soon, the old man, who was filled with the aura of death, regained a lot of his vitality. Thank you, sage. Thank you. The old man sensed the rich vitality in his body and revealed an excited expression. He quickly sensed it. There's no need. I've already received the reward. Let's go. Wang Xian said with a smile. You're really amazing. Ling Jianyar's eyes sparkled when she saw Wang Xian heal a person with a wave of his hand. She said with a smile, Haha, of course. Wang Xian laughed out loud as he patted his chest. Ling Jian rolled her eyes at him. Not long after, a few more groups of people came to seek the removal of the dark soul in his body. Wang Xian easily healed it and received a lot of rewards. It seems that many people know that I can remove the soul of darkness. There will probably be more people coming in the next few days. Give it to Janner. This is a spiritual herb of the 6th level of the void interpretation realm. It has a metal attribute and is very beneficial to your cultivation. In the evening, Wang Xian looked at the spiritual herb beside him and passed it to Ling Jian. I don't want it. You've already given me a lot of things. Ling Jian shook her head and turned her back to him. What's mine is yours. Take it if you want it. Wang Xian smiled and placed the spiritual herb directly on her head. He smiled and said, not bad. It's pretty. You're looking for a beating. Ling Jian quickly took it off and glared at him. Haha, what's wrong, Jian? Did Priest Wang make you unhappy? At this moment, King Bingxin's loud laughter came from outside. Ling Jian Yar's face was slightly red. She hurriedly stood up and looked towards the door. Your Majesty. Haha, all right, Jenny, you sit. Priest Wang, sorry to disturb you. King Bingxin smiled and waved at Ling Jian. Bing Jinghuan, who was beside him, clenched his fists tightly when he saw Ling Jian, Yar's slightly red and alluring face. I won't disturb you. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. His gaze swept across an old man beside King Bingxin. King Bingxin, does this senior need some treatment? Priest Wang is really smart. I wonder if Priest Wang is confident. King Bingxin's eyes were burning with passion as he asked hurriedly. The old man was also looking at Wang Xian with excitement. This senior situation is similar to that of Wuqing City. We can resolve it now. Wang Xian smiled and said directly, Then I shall trouble you, Priest Wang. Thank you so much. Our patriarch has been invaded by the darkness. Although he didn't lose his mind, he has been suppressing it in his body and his strength has been greatly reduced. If Pastor Wang can cure him, our Bingxin Empire will be eternally grateful. The king of Bingxin said excitedly, You don't have to be so polite. Wang Xian shook his head and walked to the side of the old man immediately. He began to remove the darkness soul in his body. Thank you, little brother. The old man nodded at Wang Xian with a smile on his face. You're welcome. To Wang Xian, dealing with the soul of darkness at the 7th level of the void interpretation realm was very easy. In less than 2 minutes, it was easily eliminated. This caused the king of Bingxin to be endlessly grateful. Wang Xian did not charge him any fees and chatted for a while with a smile. On the other hand, the old man from the Bingxin Empire went back to cultivate excitedly to recover his strength. Chapter 1573. 1573 on the betrayal of the Bingxin Empire. When Wang Xian cured a few powerhouses who were invaded by the soul of darkness, especially after curing the ancestors of the Bingxin Empire. The name of the Saint of Light was even more resounding. If the name of the saint was conferred by the Wuji Empire in the beginning, it was now publicly acknowledged. After staying in Ling Jian Yar's courtyard for 7 to 8 days, the relationship between Wang Xian and her increased daily. Now, they could already have some intimate little moves. This made Wang Xian very happy. In the past few days, the relationship between the Bingxin Empire and Wang Xian was also very good. The king of Bingxin even vaguely revealed that he could marry Ling Jian to Wang Xian. I've made a breakthrough. I've finally made a breakthrough. On the afternoon of the 10th day, Wang Xian and Ao Jian stood in the courtyard and looked at Ling Jian, who was getting up. She looked at Wang Xian with excitement and shouted happily. After absorbing the sword heart grass and the various spiritual herbs and elixirs that Wang Xian had given her for the past 10 days, her strength had broken through to the 3rd level of the see-through realm. Once she broke through to the 3rd level of the see-through realm, she could kill an expert at the 4th level of the see-through realm. Her strength had achieved a qualitative improvement. It was not an exaggeration to say that Ling Jianyar's current strength and talent were unrivaled in the entire vast region. Even Wuqing City, Nangongwudi, and the 2 heavens favorites from the Solitaire sect were no match for Ling Jian. Congratulations to our Jian, for her great increase in strength. Wang Xian walked over with a smile on his face and patted her head. HMPH, put your hand down. Ling Jian glared at him, but her eyes were filled with a smile. The emperor wants me to participate in the Solitaire sect's martial arts competition tomorrow. If I win, I will be able to obtain a lot of resources and become famous. The unique martial arts competition organized by the unique sect? If you want to participate, just do it. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and said directly, Yes, my master also wants me to participate. If I can obtain good results, it will be beneficial to our Bingxin Empire. Ling Jian nodded. With your strength, Jian, You will definitely be able to suppress the entire arena. No one is your match. Wang Xian smiled at her and said, HMPH, that's right. I will definitely get first place. Ling Jian raised her head with a smile and said confidently, In the future, a swordswoman will appear in the vast region. Wang Xian said with a smile. He looked at the time and said, I will go back first. I will look for you tomorrow morning. Okay. Ling Jian nodded and watched Wang Xian leave. The next morning, when Wang Xian arrived in front of Ling Jian's courtyard, he found dozens of young men from the Bingxin Empire gathered there. Sir Sage! Sir Sage! When they saw Wang Xian coming over, everyone shouted at him respectfully. Now, everyone in the Bingxin Empire knew that Wang Xian had saved the patriarch of the Bingxin Empire. In addition to his powerful strength, no one dared not to treat him respectfully. Even the 9th prince, Bing Jinghuan, lowered his head with an awkward expression and greeted Wang Xian when he saw him. Yes, Wang Xian nodded at them with a smile. Wang Xian! Ling Jian walked over and shouted at Wang Xian with a smile. Yes, are all of you going to participate? Wang Xian looked at the group of young people from the Bingxin Empire and asked with a smile. Some of you are going to participate. Let's go, let's hurry over. Ling Jian nodded and urged him. All right, all right. The Bingxin Empire had a closer relationship with the Solitaire sect, and they respected the Solitaire sect. All the young people could participate in the Solitaire martial arts competition. If they performed well in the competition, they would be accepted into the Solitaire sect. Every year, tens of thousands of youths would try their best to join the sect. Once they joined such a large sect, no one would dare to offend them in the vast region. Priest Wang. When they had not gone far, a voice sounded. Everyone from the Ice Heart dynasty was slightly shocked when they heard this voice and quickly looked over. Your Highness, the Crown Prince. Everyone's expression changed slightly as they immediately shouted respectfully, Wu Qing City. Wang Xian looked over. It seems like you have completely recovered. I have to thank you, Pastor Wang. I'm here to thank you personally. Wu Qing City spoke with great respect. He walked over with a smile on his face. There's no need to thank me. I've received a lot of rewards. Wang Xian smiled. It's different, it's different. If it weren't for you, my life would be over. Where are you going, Pastor Wang? Wu Qingqing shook his head and said, Jian Er is participating in the exclusive martial arts competition of the Solitaire sect. That's why I'm accompanying her. Wang Xian said with a smile. Haha, Pastor Wang, you're really a good man. I originally wanted to thank you today. Since that's the case, don't mind if I go with you guys to take a look. Wu Qingqing smiled. Sure. Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian and nodded. All right. Wu Qingqing walked over with a smile and started a simple conversation with Wang Xian and Ling Jian. Behind him, a group of young men from the Icy Heart Empire watched this scene in awe. Even the crown prince of the Wu Ji Empire was so respectful to Priest Wang. One could imagine his current status. He kept walking in the direction of the Solitaire sect. Numerous mountains appeared in his line of sight. The Solitaire sect was located in a mountain peak in the base of the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. The Solitaire sect occupies the best part of the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. There is a powerful formation left behind by the Divine Kingdom, such as long-distance teleportation. As they approached the mountains, Wu Qing City spoke to Wang Xian. Long-distance teleportation. What kind of formation is this? Wang Xian looked at him curiously. Long-distance teleportation. It's even more powerful than the teleportation of a longevity-level powerhouse. Through long-distance teleportation, one can instantly travel tens of thousands of kilometers. This is a formation left behind from the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Only my sect is lucky enough to occupy it. Wu Qingqing said with some envy. That's the crown prince of Wu Qing City. Why is he here? Look at the young man next to him. He's Priest Wang of the Sage. Oh my God! I heard that the sage likes a princess of the Bingxin Empire. The Bingxin Empire has struck it rich this time. As they continued walking in, more and more people gathered. When they saw Wang Xian and Wu Qing City, they were all shocked. The name of the Saint of Light had spread across the entire vast region. They continued to walk in and entered the valley. Around them, there were many young men who had rushed over from other places. There were many of them, more than 100,000 of them. However, there were only about 10,000 of them who were qualified to participate in the competition. It's right in front. That's the supreme stage. After walking for about 10 kilometers, they arrived at the center of the two mountain peaks. In front of them, there were tall stages. On both sides of the arenas, there were two stone pillars that were 500 meters tall. One on the left and one on the right, each of them wrote, "In heaven and on earth, only I am supreme." Chapter 1574. 1574. 1574. In the midst of the Ice Heart Empire's betrayal, in the heavens and the earth, only I reign supreme. How domineering! In the surroundings, some of the youths who had come to the ruins of the Solitaire sect's divine kingdom for the first time looked at the two stone pillars that were 500 meters tall with faces full of shock. The 8 large words on them were filled with wildness and wildness. They contained an aura of only I reign supreme. Ninth Prince, Princess Jian, Sir Sage, let's go and register first. At the back, more than a dozen young men walked forward and spoke to Wang Xian and the rest. They immediately walked in. For this martial arts competition, anyone under the age of 150 can participate. However, the competition is divided into 2 zones. One is a young man under the age of 50, and the other is above the age of 50. Those at the insightful void level can skip the earlier stages of the competition and participate in the later stages of the competition directly. Ling Jian explained to Wang Xian from the side. All right, let's go in and take a look. Wang Xian nodded his head. He looked at his surroundings with a curious expression and walked in. The martial arts competition that was held once every 2 years by the Solitaire sect was definitely not something that could be compared to the selection of disciples from some empires or second-rate forces. As one of the 3 super forces in the vast region, the competition venue was extremely grand. In the middle of 2 mountains that were 4,000 to 5,000 meters tall, there were many arenas floating in the sky. There were more than 10,000 arenas around them. At the front, there were many huge seats floating in the sky. Come, let's fly over to the front. The 9th Prince's expression was not too good. He squeezed out a smile and said to Wang Xian and the rest, Okay. The group of people from the Bingxin Empire flew over and headed to the front. As the Bingxin Empire was closer to the Solitaire sect, their position was at the right of the Solitaire sect. The group of people flew over. Wang Xian, Ling Jian, Wu Qingcheng, and the rest sat in the center, while Bing Jinghuan sat at the side with a gloomy face. Looking over, there were many young men filled with fighting spirit in the huge arena. Boom, 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 boom. Not long after they sat down, terrifying auras rushed over from afar. Feeling the overwhelming aura, the hundreds of thousands of people around quieted down. Everyone looked over in awe. Hundreds of figures flew over quickly. The 2 elders in the lead were at the 7th level of the profound void tier and the 2 elders of the Solitaire sect. Around them were deacons and disciples. There were disciples participating in the competition as well as disciples watching the battle. The most eye-catching ones were the 3 people beside the 2 elders. 2 of them were the 2 peerless heavens, favorites of Solitaire. In the center of them was a middle-aged man. compared to the two heavens and earth's favorites who wore golden crowns. The middle-aged man in the center was even more high profile. He had a handsome face, long hair, and a resplendent crown on his head. In the center of the crown, there were 4 resplendent golden words, Supreme Heaven. He looked down arrogantly in front of him, as if he didn't care about this world. The middle-aged man in the middle of the two heavens' favorites is called Ao Tian. He is the son of the supreme leader of our sect. He is in his 130s and has the cultivation of the 5th level of the see-through void tier. He is highly regarded by the powerhouses of our sect. There is a high possibility that he could reach the 9th level of the see-through void tier. Wu Qingqing saw Wang Xian looking at the middle-aged man and whispered to him, "Oh, he is only at the 5th level of the see-through void tier in his 130s. He is even weaker than you." Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and said with a smile, Of course, he can't be compared to Priest Wang and us." Wu Qingqing smiled. His current strength had already broken through to level 4 of the see-through realm. He was extremely confident that he would be able to break through to level 1 or even level 2 in the next few decades. The members of the solipsistic sect flew towards the seats that were floating in the air at the front. The crown prince of Wuqing City from Wuji Empire is here. Ao Tian, go and entertain him. 2 elders of the 7th level of the see-through realm sat in the middle. One of the elders scanned the area and immediately sent a voice transmission to Ao Tian when he realized that Wuqing City was here. The one beside him should be Priest Wang, who is currently in the limelight. Go and greet him too. The other elder looked over and shifted his gaze to Wang Xian. "Oh, Wuqing City is here? And the Saint of Light?" Ao Tian, who was emitting a domineering aura, looked over. His eyes were sparkling. "Let's go and pay our respects." He swept his gaze across the 2 heavens pride experts in the sky and earth beside him and said faintly, "The Crown Prince of Wuji Empire and the Saint of Light who is at level 7 of the see-through void stage. Even Ao Shiling Yin from their sect would follow the proper etiquette. That damn guy." When the 2 heavens pride experts saw Wang Xian, hatred appeared on their faces. If you have the ability, you can kill Priest Wang directly. If you don't have the ability, forget it. Ao Tian sensed the anger of the 2 heavens pride experts and said calmly, "Senior brother, we know that one day we will kill him." The 2 heavens favorites took a deep breath and hid their killing intent as they spoke in a deep voice. "Okay." Ao Tian nodded his head. His figure moved as he looked at Wang Xian and Wuqing City. "Priest Wang, Wuqing City, I didn't expect the 2 of you to come to our exclusive venue." Ao Tian had a faint smile on his face as he shouted at them. The Crown Prince of Wuqing City is here? The sage is here too? There, I didn't expect the Crown Prince and Priest Wang to be here." Everyone around was slightly shocked and quickly looked over. When they saw their figures, their faces were filled with respect and reverence. Accompany Priest Wang to take a look." Wu Qingqing saw them flying over and stood up with a smile. "This must be Pastor Wang Xian of the Saint of Light. I've heard so much about him." Ao Tian sized up Wang Xian and said faintly, "I've heard so much about you." Wang Xian also looked at him and said faintly, "I've heard so much about you. I hope Pastor Wang won't bully my junior brothers." As Ao Tian spoke, he glanced at the 2 heavens pride experts beside him. "I won't offend anyone if they don't offend me. I don't have the habit of provoking others." Wang Xian smiled. "HMPH, just you wait. One day, we will use your blood to avenge ourselves." When the 2 heavens pride experts heard Wang Xian's words, the killing intent in their eyes was completely released. They growled coldly in a low voice. Wang Xian could feel the killing intent from their bodies. His pupils contracted slightly as he looked at Ao Tian indifferently. "Your junior brother is courting death." A warning sounded, causing everyone from the Bingxin Empire to hold their breaths. Bing Jinghuan's eyes flickered. Ao Tian also contracted slightly when he heard Wang Xian's question. A hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Ao Tian, are you bringing people here to cause trouble? Is this the way of treating guests of your only sect? Wu Qingcheng looked at this scene and said with a faint frown. Chapter 1575. 1575, under the betrayal of the 1575 Iceheart dynasty. Haha, we will naturally treat our friends well. However, if they are not friends. Ao Tian squinted his eyes and looked at Wang Xian when he heard Wu Qingcheng's words. He laughed and did not finish his sentence. As the most outstanding son of the supreme leader of the only sect and the future supreme leader of the only sect, only a few people from the Wuji dynasty and the southern royal family could really catch his attention in the entire vast region. He didn't care about anyone else, even Priest Wang, who was currently in the limelight in the vast region. In the vast region, no matter how monstrous he was, he couldn't defeat the solipsistic sect. Is it Priest Wang? Ao Tian looked at Wang Xian and asked faintly in the end. I agree with what you said. Friends have wine and meat, enemies have swords. Wang Xian looked at Ao Tian with a smile on his face. Ao Tian, the match is about to start. Don't disturb us from watching the match. Wu Qingcheng, who was at the side, sensed a hint of anger from Wang Xian and said to Ao Tian immediately. Good, good, good. Ao Tian stared at Wang Xian with a wicked smile on his lips. He looked at Wu Qingcheng and flew straight ahead. Ao Tian is as arrogant as his name suggests. He doesn't put anyone in his eyes. In fact, everyone in our sect is unlikable. They act like I'm the best in the world. Priest Wang, it's best if you don't get into a big conflict with them. As long as you don't offend them completely, Ao Tian won't be able to do anything to you. Seeing Ao Tian leave, Wu Qingcheng reminded Wang Xian softly. Don't worry, I won't offend anyone if they don't offend me. Wang Xian smiled at Wu Qingcheng. Ao Tian didn't put him in his eyes. Naturally, he didn't put Ao Tian in his eyes either. Unless someone was stronger than him, no one had the right to be arrogant with him. That Priest Wang is indeed as arrogant as the rumors say. Ao Tian returned to his seat in the void. His gaze swept across Wang Xian as he spoke with a cold expression. He doesn't even put senior brother in his eyes. This fellow. The two heavens pried experts in the sky and on the ground looked at him with murderous intent as they growled in a low voice. All right, this fellow is very strong and has been conferred the title of the Saint of Light by the Wuji Empire. We can't do anything to him for the time being. Ao Tian glanced at the two of them with a cold expression as he looked towards the direction of the arena with an expressionless face. Even if he was the most outstanding son of the supreme leader of the only sect, it was impossible for him to mobilize a level 8 see-through void martial artist to kill a level 7 see-through void martial artist. Unless the other party harmed the only sect or killed the disciples of the only sect. When the two heavens favorites saw Ao Tian's cold expression, they quickly shut up and sat there with a gloomy face. When Ao Tian came to talk to Wang Xian and the rest, the competition on the arena had already begun. 20 arenas and 40 people were fighting at the same time. Wang Xian didn't have much interest in watching the battles on the arena. A battle between cultivators below the void interpretation stage was no different from a battle between children. However, what surprised Wang Xian was that the arena where the lone tyrant was fighting was much more bloody than some ordinary battles. In the first round of the 40-man competition, 5 people were killed on the spot. If you find it boring, let's go out for a walk. You can come back when I'm in the arena. After watching for the entire morning, Ling Jian noticed that Wang Xian was not in the mood. She said to him with a smile on her face, All right, by the way, we haven't walked around the ruins of the kingdom of God yet. Wang Xian nodded immediately and said with a smile, Oh, Priest Wang, do you guys want to go for a stroll? I'll treat you guys to a meal then. You guys can have fun in the afternoon. I won't be a third wheel anymore." Wu Qingcheng heard their conversation and said with a smile, "All right." Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian and nodded. "Let's go." The three of them left the competition venue and flew towards the outside. At the back, Bing Jinghuan clenched his fists tightly when he saw Ling Jian and Wang Xian leaving. After Wang Xian and the rest left, Wu Qingcheng brought the two of them to the most famous restaurant in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. The three of them had lunch together. More than an hour later, Wang Xian and Ling Jian are left alone. Wu Qingcheng frowned and knocked on the table as he watched Wang Xian and Ling Jian leave. "Uncle Jing, what do you think of this priest Wang?" he asked curiously. "Crown Prince, it's hard to say how many, but this young man is not afraid of anyone." Beside Wu Qingcheng, a voice rang out. "That's right. This priest Wang is good in every way, but he doesn't know how to fear. Forget it. As long as he doesn't provoke the Lone Sect and the Southern royal family, I will lend a hand when he is in danger in the future. It can be considered as repaying him for saving his life." Wu Qingcheng shook his head and got up to leave. After spending the afternoon with Ling Jian in some famous places in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom and sending him back to his residence, Wang Xian turned around and left. Priest Wang, right? At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Wang Xian, causing his pupils to constrict slightly. It was an old man, a stooped old man. He was holding a black magic staff in his hand. He looked no different from an ordinary old man. However, his sudden appearance in front of Wang Xian before Wang Xian could even sense him proved that this stooped old man was not simple. "This old man, what's the matter?" Wang Xian's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness as he sized him up and asked, "I heard that Priest Wang is able to expel the soul of darkness, so I would like to ask for his help." The stooped old man stared at Wang Xian and said faintly, "Expel the soul of darkness? As long as there is sufficient reward, I will naturally do my best." Wang Xian looked at the old man and said with a smile, "The reward is a little hard to come by now. After you are cured, I will compensate you." The old man said calmly, "Compensate? Old man, how can such a good thing happen?" Wang Xian shook his head in amusement and walked straight ahead. "Then I have no choice but to offend you." The hunchbacked old man shook his head and appeared beside Wang Xian in a flash. His pair of skeletal claws clawed at Wang Xian's shoulder. "Pa, old man, this is not how you seek medical treatment. Do you believe that I can immediately detonate the darkness soul in your body?" A ferocious dragon claw grabbed onto the old man's arm. The powerful force caused the old man's arm to tremble slightly. Wang Xian looked at the incredulous look on the old man's face and said mockingly, You are not at level 7 of the void interpretation stage." The old man stared at Wang Xian with his turbid eyes. "Get lost." Wang Xian shouted coldly. A white light flashed sharply on his pair of dragon claws. In an instant, the old man's expression changed drastically. His pupils revealed a look of horror. The next moment, he couldn't help but spit out a large mouthful of blood. His body started to tremble violently. Chapter 1576. 1576. 1576. What did you do to me? You actually broke the energy that was suppressing the dark soul in my body. The stooped old man's face was pale as he stared at Wang Xian in fear. His body trembled as he spoke. Be a good cripple. Wang Xian took a glance at the stooped old man. His arm returned to its human form and gave him a gentle push. The hunchbacked old man staggered and fell to the ground at the side. His face was filled with panic. No, no. Pastor Wang, save me, save me. The hunchbacked old man watched Wang Xian leave and became completely flustered. He shouted at Wang Xian with a face full of fear. However, Wang Xian ignored him and walked into the distance. A powerhouse who was invaded by the soul of darkness came to him for treatment. He even wanted to use force. Wang Xian naturally wouldn't let him off easily. The soul of darkness that was suppressed in his body was directly knocked away by Wang Xian. If the soul of darkness were to crash into his body again, the old man would become a cripple. However, this old ancestor's strength was once at the peak of the 8th level of the see-through void tier. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. He did not kill the old man because of this. "Save me! Save me!" The hunchbacked old man roared with a face full of pain. His face was extremely ferocious. He felt a little regretful. Why did he have to use force? Now that he couldn't act cool, he was killed instead. 8th level of the void interpretation stage. 8th level of the void interpretation stage. With his strength, he can definitely get rid of the dark soul in my body and return me to my peak. No, no. As the hunchbacked old man spoke, he gritted his teeth and wanted to chase after Wang Xian's figure. However, Wang Xian's figure had already disappeared. This made him stand there in despair. His body was trembling non-stop. "Pastor Wang, save me. Please save me. It was my fault yesterday. Please." The next day, when Wang Xian arrived in front of Ling Jian Yar's courtyard, the old man from yesterday ran over and pleaded in fear and trepidation. "You're still waiting here. This means that you're not from a big faction. Are you alone? No matter who you are, you'd better not bother me. Otherwise, I won't have any scruples, even if I kill you." Wang Xian glanced at the old man coldly. "Asking you to show off yesterday and threaten me with force. In the past, you were at least a peerless powerhouse at level 8 of the see-through void tier. Now..." Wang Xian shook his head in disdain and came to Ling Jian Yar's courtyard. For the next 2 days, Wang Xian and Ling Jian visited some scenic spots in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. The two of them seemed to have become a couple. On the 4th day, Ling Jianyar's turn came for the solitaire martial arts competition of the Solitaire sect. The solitaire martial arts competition would select the first and second Peerless Heaven's favorites under the age of 50 and be conferred the title of Heaven's and Earth's 2 Heaven's favorites. The current Heaven's and Earth's young masters were the previous Heaven's favorites. However, the current Heaven's and Earth's 2 Heaven's favorites had occupied this title for more than a decade. With the strength of Heaven's and Earth's young masters, unless they were over the age of 50, no one would be able to defeat them. However, it was not necessarily the case for this competition. Wang Xian sat on the spectator stand and watched Ling Jian Yar's battle with a young man at the 2nd level of the Insight Void stage with a smile on his face. This young man was a disciple of the solipsistic sect. With his strength at the 2nd level of the see-through realm, he was equivalent to the number 1 person under the heaven and earth. In the arena, he stared at Ling Jian coldly and looked down arrogantly. Under the orders of his 2 senior brothers in heaven and earth, he would make this girl extremely embarrassed in this battle. "Begin." The deacon at the side shouted softly and announced the start of the competition. "Bing Jian, all right? Wait a moment, I will." Whoosh! That disciple originally wanted to use words to humiliate Ling Jian, but he did not expect that the other party's golden light would directly attack him. "Looks like I have to teach you a good lesson." Seeing that the golden light was attacking him, the disciple raised his palm with a cold expression. A huge green palm directly attacked the golden light. "Pooh, pooh, pooh." However, the golden light easily pierced through the green palm and continued to attack the disciple. "What?" The disciple's expression changed. He waved his hand, and a gust of green wind surrounded his body as he dodged to the side. So. However, at this moment, the golden light split open and instantly struck the disciple. "Ah!" A miserable cry came from the disciple's mouth. "What?" He killed senior brother Lai Feng in one move. That Bing Jian Yar's strength is so terrifying. My God, he killed her in one move. How is this possible? Could it be that Bing Jian has the cultivation of the third level of the profound void martial stage? What a terrifying woman. Is there going to be a change in the heaven and earth's prodigies this year? When Ling Jian easily defeated the two heaven and earth's prodigies, everyone had shocked expressions on their faces. Another peerless prodigy had risen. How is this possible? She is so powerful. On the stage, at the very front, when the two heaven and earth's prodigies saw that Ling Jian had actually killed Lai Feng in an instant, their expressions were incomparably grave. Lai Feng's strength was only one level lower than theirs, yet he was actually killed in an instant. Even they couldn't kill him so easily. So strong, this woman is really a strange woman. Ao Tian's gaze flickered as he looked at Ling Jian, his eyes filled with shock. This Bing Jian seems to have a very good relationship with that priest Wang, right? Ao Tian slightly narrowed his eyes and said indifferently, "It's senior brother. It's this girl. She's the last disciple of the patriarch of the Bingxin dynasty, the adopted daughter of the Bingxin king. That priest Wang has been pursuing her. I heard that priest Wang came to the vast area for her. We wanted to let Lai Feng teach Bing Jian a lesson and embarrass that priest Wang, but we didn't expect." The two heavens' favorites in the sky and on the ground spoke in a low voice, their faces filled with embarrassment. A heaven's favorite in the entire vast region. There isn't such an outstanding heaven's favorite. Moreover, she's a virgin. TSK. Ao Tian's eyes flickered as he looked at Ling Jian, with a hint of greed and possessiveness in his eyes. As the supreme force of the only sect, the son of the only sect leader, he had seen too many beautiful women. In his eyes, beautiful women were just playthings that were slightly beautiful. However, this Ling Jian was different. Only such a beauty can be worthy of me. Ao Tian mumbled softly. His gaze swept across Wang Xian, who was sitting on the seat, and the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. "Call Bing Jinghuan from the Bingxin Empire over." Ao Tian said plainly to the two heavens' favorites in the sky and earth beside him. The two of them were stunned when they heard Ao Tian's words. Their faces were filled with shock. Then their eyes lit up. Yes, it's senior brother. Only such a heaven's favorite is worthy of senior brother. That priest Wang, what right does he have to compare with you? As the two of them spoke, they moved and flew towards Bing Jinghuan. Chapter 1577. 1577. We pay our respects to young master Ao Tian. In front of the empty seats in front of the competition, Bing Jinghuan followed behind the two heavens' favorites and bowed respectfully to Ao Tian. Just the two heavens' favorites were enough to make him bow and scrape, let alone Ao Tian, the son of the supreme headmaster of our sect. Ao Tian sat on the chair and glanced at Bing Jinghuan. His gaze landed on Ling Jian, who flew out from the arena. Your Bing Jian from the Bing Xian Empire is very good. He was not stingy with his praise, and his face was full of smiles. Bing Jinghuan was slightly stunned when he heard Ao Tian's words. He immediately squeezed out a smile. She is very strong. Even I am not her match now. When he saw Ao Tian staring at Bing Jian Yar's figure, he suddenly had a guess. He was slightly shocked, and his eyes were shining. I used to like Bing Jian, but father now wants to set her up with that priest Wang. He pursed his lips and stopped. A priest of light is not worthy of such a proud daughter. Ao Tian said indifferently, "This is also arranged by my imperial father. I have no choice." Bing Jinghuan lowered her head slightly and said bitterly. The light in her eyes was somewhat dazzling. "Bing Jinghuan, go and tell your imperial father that I have taken a liking to that Bing Jian lady." I will ask my father to propose marriage to your Ice Heart Empire. As Ao Tian said this, a smile appeared on his face. Such a proud daughter of the heavens can only be worthy of me, Ao Tian. As soon as he finished speaking, a strong sense of self-confidence and an aura of superiority emanated from his body. Bing Jing Huan took 2 steps back due to the impact of his aura. His expression changed slightly, and he quickly nodded. It's young Master Ao Tian. I will go back immediately and pass your message to father. As he spoke, his gaze shifted to the back. Seeing how intimate Wang Xian and Ling Jian were, he was filled with jealousy. If I can't get it, don't even think about getting it. I'll see what you can do about the person that young Master Ao Tian wants. His expression was ferocious as he roared in his heart. A twisted smile appeared on his face. Bing Jinghuan's figure moved, and he immediately flew towards the location of the Bingxin Empire. Jian, it looks like you will be the first place in this competition. Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian, and said with a smile on his face, Of course, I will let you see it during the finals tomorrow. I will definitely be the most dazzling one here. Ling Jian raised her head slightly and said proudly, All right, when you win, I will give you a gift and a surprise. Wang Xian stroked her head lovingly and said happily, After spending the past few days together, Ling Jian, Yar's heart clearly belonged to him. As long as he wanted to confess, given her current character, she would definitely not reject him. All right, I'll be waiting for your gift and surprise. Ling Jian, Yar's face was filled with joy as she nodded. The 2 of them walked out on foot. That Bing Jian from the Ice Heart Empire's strength is really terrifying. Why don't you take a look at whose woman that is? It's the woman of the Saint of Light, the priest of the Sage King. She has all sorts of cultivation resources and can be compared to a core disciple of a super faction. Priest Wang is also a monstrous existence. Bing Jian is naturally not too far off. A match made in heaven, a perfect match. As the 2 of them walked on the road, the discussions of other young men could be heard from time to time. Ling Jian did not get angry when she heard these voices. Instead, she was secretly delighted. Wang Xian was in a good mood when he saw her expression. However, what Wang Xian and Ling Jian did not expect was that Bing Jinghuan was standing in front of the king of Bingxin Empire in a room in the Bingxin Empire complex. In the room, apart from the king of Bingxin, there were 2 other elders. Sitting in the middle was an energetic, white-haired elder. The elder seemed to be in a good mood. Jinghuan, why are you in such a hurry to come over? What's the matter? The king of Bingxin looked at Bing Jinghuan and asked curiously, Father, ancestor, it's young Master Ao Tian who asked me to come over. There's something he wants me to tell father. Bing Jinghuan lowered his head and said respectfully, Young Master Ao Tian, what is it? The king of Bingxin immediately asked in surprise. Young Master Ao Tian has taken a fancy to Junior's sister, Jian. He asked me to tell you that soon he will ask the Supreme Headmaster to propose marriage to our Bingxin dynasty. Bing Jing Huan pursed his lips and said, What? Bingxin King was slightly stunned, his face full of astonishment. The 2 old men beside him also slightly raised their eyebrows, full of surprise. Today, Junior's sister Jian killed a disciple of the 2nd rank of the Profound Void sect in one move. With her strength, I'm afraid that she is not even as good as the 2 heavens' favorites in the sky and the earth. In addition, Junior's sister Jian is beautiful. Young Master Outyan said that only the daughter of the heavens' favorites is worthy of him. Bing Jing, Huan continued. This. King Bing Xian's expression changed slightly and he frowned. Young Master Ao Tian really said that? Yes, father. Perhaps soon, only our sect will be the supreme leader of the sect and propose a marriage. Bing Jing Huan nodded. When I saved Jian, I found that her talent was extraordinary. She will definitely be extraordinary in the future. I didn't expect that she could suppress the proud son of heaven of only our sect in just a few months. No wonder young master of only our sect was so moved. But what about Priest Wang? A long-haired elder beside the white-haired elder said with a frown. If it were any other time, they would be very happy if the young master of our sect, Ao Tian, took a fancy to Bing Jian. But now there was a Priest Wang. In their opinion, although that Priest Wang was far inferior to the young master of Ao Tian, after all, he had also saved an ancestor of their icy heart empire. Restoring his strength to the 8th level of the profound void tier was a huge favor. Big brother, what do you think? The long-haired old man looked at the white-haired old man and asked softly. The white-haired old man was slightly hesitant. He was cured by Wang Xian, but he was leaning towards young Master Ao Tian in his heart. Young Master Ao Tian had an 80% chance of becoming the sect leader of the solipsistic sect in the future. As for Priest Wang, he was merely a relatively powerful priest. There was still a huge gap between the two. Jian, marrying the young lord of Ao Tian, would be of great benefit to the Icy Heart dynasty. Father, Patriarch, the relationship between the young lord of Ao Tian and Priest Wang isn't very good. A few days ago, there was almost a conflict. Fortunately, the Crown Prince of Wuching City was present at that time. Bing Jing Huan looked at the hesitant expressions of the patriarch and his father and added on from the side. Oh, that Priest Wang actually dared to provoke Ao Tian? The white-haired elder raised his eyebrows and asked in surprise. Patriarch, according to our understanding of Priest Wang, he is a fearless person. He used to fight against the two heavens pride experts of our sect. He didn't give face to the Crown Prince of Wuching City at all. He didn't even fear the Wuji dynasty. It's said that he doesn't know fear, but it can also be said that he doesn't know what's good for him. He is a bit arrogant. Ice Heart King said lightly. Chapter 1578. 1578 1,578 dragons have a reverse scale one. Somewhat arrogant, somewhat insolent. This was the evaluation of the king of Bingxin Empire towards Wang Xian. In the room, the two patriarchs of Bingxin Empire were sitting there quietly, deep in thought. Big brother, what do you think? The long-haired elder said to the white-haired elder. Although that Priest Wang is powerful and has great potential, his character is destined to cause him to provoke many enemies. Now that he has even provoked Ao Tian, this is not a good thing. For our Bingxin dynasty, young Master Ao Tian is the better choice. After a long silence, the white-haired elder said calmly, I also think that the Supreme Chief's son is the best choice. It will be extremely beneficial for the future of our Bingxin dynasty. No matter what, Priest Wang has cured Big Brother's illness for decades. We can't be too ungrateful. The long-haired elder nodded slowly at the side. Since young Master Outyan has spoken, it's not easy for us to refuse, especially if the supreme sect leader proposes marriage. With the supreme status of our sect, we can't refuse either. Since that's the case, we'll betroth Jian to young Master Outyan. This is also a better choice for Jian. As for Priest Wang, he can choose any beauty from the Bingxin dynasty. A smile slowly appeared on Bingxin King's face as he looked at the two ancestors and suggested, All right, in that case, let's go to the venue where I am the only one. If Jian can really obtain the first place tomorrow, it will be of even greater benefit to our Bingxin dynasty. Haha. The long-haired elder stood up and said with a smile. The white-haired elder and Bingxin King nodded with smiles on their faces. The matter had already been settled. Bing Jing Huan, who was standing in front, revealed a cold smile on his face, filled with schadenfreude. Jian, let's go. Master will bring you to the venue where I rule supreme. The next morning, the Bingxin king, the two ancestors, and Bingjing Huan came to the front of Ling Jian Yar's courtyard and called out to Ling Jian Yar, "Master." Ling Jian walked out. When she saw her ancestors and the top experts of the Bingxin dynasty, she was stunned. "Master, why are you here?" she asked curiously. Why? Can't you come and see my outstanding disciple?" The long-haired old man smiled and shouted happily, "Zhou Jian, we will take you there. We hope that you can get the first place today. By then, the Bingxin dynasty will be proud. After today's battle, Father will give you a big surprise." King Bingxin said with a smile, "Thank you, Your Majesty." Ling Jian nodded with a smile. "Let's go." King Bingxin nodded and said directly, "Wait, Your Majesty. Wang Xian hasn't arrived yet. He should be here soon." Ling Jian looked outside and said, "Jian, let's rush over first. Pastor Wang knows the place." The long-haired elder frowned slightly and said with a smile, That's fine." Ling Jian nodded slightly and followed the people of the Bingxin Empire towards the place where I am the only one who knows martial arts. "Little brother Wang Xian, are you confident that Jian will acknowledge me as his father?" At this moment, on the way to Ling Jian Yar's courtyard, Sect Leader Ling looked at Wang Xian and said nervously, "Sect Leader Ling, don't be nervous. Jian can't recognize you now, but you can take your time to nurture her." Wang Xian smiled at Sect Leader Ling. During this period of time, Ling Jian had gradually accepted him. Naturally, he wanted her to get to know Sect Leader Ling. Even if they couldn't recover their father-daughter relationship, at least Sect Leader Ling would be happier and feel more at ease. "Pastor Wang, I was wrong. As long as you save me, I'm willing to do anything you want me to do." At this moment, an old voice suddenly came from the side. Sect Leader Ling frowned slightly and looked to the left. An old man with a stooped figure, who looked like a beggar who was about to die at any moment, begged Wang Xian, "Don't pretend to be so pitiful. Find a safe place to spend the rest of your life." Wang Xian swept his gaze across the old man. There was no trace of pity in his eyes. He would naturally not rescue a person who wanted to threaten him. The hunchbacked old man looked at Wang Xian's determined look, and his eyes were filled with gloom. He watched Wang Xian walk forward and followed closely behind him. Sage Princess Jian has followed the king and the old ancestor to the venue where I rule supreme. When Wang Xian arrived in front of Ling Jian Yar's courtyard, a maid said to him, "Oh, she has already gone?" Wang Xian frowned slightly and nodded. He looked at Sect Leader Ling and said, "Jian has already gone. Let's go too." All right. Sect Leader Ling nodded and followed Wang Xian to the venue. Behind them, the stooped old man followed behind with determination in his eyes. He planned to waste his time with Wang Xian. Even if he had to give up on the dignity of a powerhouse, he had to get Wang Xian to treat him. Otherwise, his life would be over. So many people. When Sect Leader Ling and Wang Xian arrived at the venue in the middle of the two mountain peaks, Sect Leader Ling looked around in astonishment. More than 100,000 people gathered around. Judging from their strength, they were much stronger than the Luhai region. There are naturally many people in the martial arts competition of the Solitaire sect. This is also because there are many people who are not qualified to enter. Otherwise, there would be millions and millions of people. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings. The last day of the Solitaire sect martial arts competition was also the day of the finals. It was much livelier than the beginning. Around the arena, there were many big shots and experts, especially the seat at the front of the competition, which was filled with many empty seats at the beginning. The two experts at level 7 of the see-through realm, who were hosting the first day, sat to the side and changed into two old men in cyan robes. Sect leaderling, let's go. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the area. When he saw that there was no sign of Ling Jian, he was slightly curious. Little brother Wang Xian, over there. Jian, is over there. At this moment, sect leader Ling pointed to the front seat and said with a face full of surprise. Wang Xian looked over and saw that the Bingxin Empire and Ling Jianyar were sitting at the seat of the lone sect. The two patriarchs of the Bingxin Empire were conversing with the two green-robed elders. Sect leader Ling, let's sit over there first. Wang Xian looked over. Without much thought, he came to the seat where the Bingxin Empire used to sit. He had just sat down when Ling Jian noticed their arrival and waved at him. Wang Xian smiled and waved back with a smile on his face. Hee hee, Jian has become much more cheerful. Sect leader Ling looked at her daughter with tears in her eyes as she said excitedly, Don't worry, sect leader Ling, I will bring Jian back. I will make her acknowledge you as her father. Wang Xian looked at sect leader Ling and promised. Chapter 1579. 1579 Dragon. 1579 has a reverse scale too. Jian, young Master Ao Tian is here. You should have a good chat with him later. On the stage at the front, King Bingxin saw Ling Jian, greeting Wang Xian. He frowned slightly and spoke to her. Young Master Ao Tian. Ling Jian, was stunned for a moment before nodding her head. Yes, Your Majesty. I understand. The son of the supreme sect leader of the only sect could possibly inherit the position of sect leader in the future, so she naturally knew that she could not provoke him. She looked behind her and saw the long-haired young master of Ao Tian, who was wearing the 4 golden crowns of the only sect leader, flying over. An arrogant aura blew over. Young master of Ao Tian. Young master of Ao Tian. Ling Jian, Bing Jinghuan, and the others stood up and greeted Ao Tian. You are welcome. Looking at Sister Jian. Up close, she is really beautiful. Ao Tian sized up Ling Jianyar from top to bottom and did not conceal his words at all. Young Master Ao Tian is too modest. Ling Jian felt his gaze and frowned imperceptibly as she said indifferently, Sister Jian, you don't have to be modest. In the entire vast region, among the women of this generation, who can compare to Sister Jian Haha. Ao Tian smiled and walked to the seat beside Ling Jian and sat down. Sister Jian, in the competition later, you might be able to defeat all the disciples of our lone sect. He smiled and said to Ling Jian Ling Jian nodded her head indifferently and didn't reply. She looked towards Wang Xian's seat. This caused Ao Tian, who was at the side, to show a hint of displeasure in his eyes. His gaze turned cold. Soon the competition began, and one by one, the young prodigies stepped onto the stage. Since the start of the competition until today, all of the participants were at the profound void tier. This caused the blood of many of the surrounding youths to boil, and they cheered loudly. Ao Tian would occasionally say a few words to Ling Jian, but in the end, all he received were indifferent and absent-minded replies. This caused Ao Tian's expression to become colder and colder. When the king of Bingxin saw this, his expression turned ugly as well. Jian, it's your turn. More than an hour later, the king of Bingxin said to Ling Jianyar with a smile on his face, Yes, Your Majesty, I will get the first place. Ling Jian nodded her head with a determined expression. Her body moved, and she flew towards the arena. In midair, she looked towards Wang Xian and gave him a sweet smile. Bing Jian has entered the arena. I wonder who will win in a battle with young Master Tian. With the strength that Bing Jian has displayed, it's obvious that she will be able to win. I really didn't expect that a woman of her generation would be able to reach the top of the young generation in the vast region. Now, I'm a little envious of Reverend Wang. If such a woman can be obtained, it would be a great fortune. Then you have to have Reverend Wang's strength as well. Wake up, stop dreaming. Ling Jian Yar's appearance caused a heated discussion among the surrounding people. A woman had the chance to obtain first place in the competition of the lone sect. In the entire vast region, she was also the first person in thousands of years. Now, there were already people who called her the daughter of heaven's pride, the peerless daughter. With Jian Ari's current strength, she can already kill a powerhouse at level 4 of the see-through void. That young Master Tian is completely no match for Jian. Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian Yar's figure and said to Sect Leader Ling, good. Sect Leader Ling's eyes were glued to her as she watched happily. Young Master Ao Tian, after the martial arts competition ends, our Bingxin Empire will announce that Jian will be betrothed to you. Jian has a cold personality and does not like to talk to strangers. However, as long as you communicate with him frequently with your outstanding qualities, Jian will definitely fall in love with you in the future. At the front seat, the king of Bingxin looked at Ao Tian, who had an ugly expression, and said with a smile, "Of course, in the entire vast region, there are not many people who can compare to me." Ao Tian felt much better after hearing the king of Bingxin's words. He raised his head proudly. Of course. The king of Bingxin nodded with a smile. My father also wants to see what kind of woman can make his son admire her. Ao Tian took out a mirror and threw it into the sky with a smile. At the same time, on a mountain tens of thousands of kilometers away, there was a mountain peak that reached into the clouds. Each mountain peak was extremely steep and gave off a green light. In a cave on the mountain peak, an old man was sitting cross-legged in a luxurious room. The old man was wearing a green robe, and there was a vertical scar between his eyebrows. He gave off an aura that transcended all living things. I want to see what kind of outstanding woman can actually make our Tianer's heart move. The old man looked forward. There was a 1-meter wide mirror there. In the mirror, the scene of the supreme stage tens of thousands of miles away was completely displayed. Husband, I have already checked. She is an extremely outstanding woman. I can't find another one in the entire vast region. A graceful and elegant lady was leaning on the old man's side, and she said with a smile, Our Tianer is already over 100 years old. It is time for her to find a wife. There are very few ladies in the world who are worthy of our Tian. This is not bad. The old man smiled and looked at the stage in the mirror. Let's take a look first. On the stage, the match began. However, what shocked everyone was that at the start of the match, Ling Jian had defeated the 2 heavens favorites in one move. The most outstanding heavens favorite disciple of our sect. One move, just one move. Looking at the battle in the mirror, the old man was stunned. Good. What a rare lady. Following that, the old man stood up with a face full of joy and shouted loudly. If others saw this, they would definitely be shocked, because this person was the 3 most powerful, peerless experts in the vast region. The Supreme Headmaster, a rank 9 insightful void martial artist, as expected of the woman that Tianer took a fancy to. At such a young age, she already has battle strength comparable to a rank for insightful void martial artist. She is even more outstanding than our Tian. Good. The Supreme Headmaster laughed heartily, his face full of smiles. Only a woman like this has the qualifications to be our daughter-in-law. Husband, we must definitely capture such an outstanding daughter-in-law in our hands. The woman at the side also spoke with a face full of joy. This is natural. As long as Tian has taken a fancy to her, there is nothing that cannot be obtained in the vast region. I will ask them to immediately bring this woman over. The Supreme Headmaster said straightforwardly. At the same time, he waved his arm, and an object that looked like an imperial edict flew out. During the flight, lines of words appeared on it. The imperial edict landed on the peak of a mountain outside and disappeared. At the same time, in the Supreme Headmaster's venue, everyone was shocked. Chapter 1580. 1580 1,580 dragons had reverse scale 3. Oh my god, instant kill. She actually killed young Noble Tian in a single move. Just how strong is Bing Jian? This is too terrifying. She defeated the most outstanding disciple of our sect in a single move. How heaven-defying. She is definitely not only at the 3rd level of the profound void martial stage. Her battle prowess should have reached the 4th level of the profound void martial stage. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to kill young Noble Tian in a single move. Everyone was stunned. At this moment, in the arena surrounding the venue, when everyone saw Ling Jian, defeating young Noble Tian in a single move, after a few seconds of silence, the entire venue was in an uproar. With such monstrous talent, even the Crown Prince of Wuching City and young Master Nangong Wudi are far from it. The number 1 lady in the vast region. After today, Bing Jian will definitely be famous throughout the vast region. The shocked voice caused the entire venue to become extremely noisy. In the middle of the arena, young Master Tian stared blankly at the ice-cold Ling Jian in front of him. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva and his eyes were filled with shock. He was the top-notch Heaven's Pride disciple in the vast region. He was actually instantly killed by a female. How was this possible? Hiss! At the front, all the disciples of the Solitaire sect sucked in a breath of cold air, their eyes filled with shock. The deacons and elders were also filled with shock. The strongest disciple they had nurtured was actually instantly killed by a woman. Haha, good. The patriarch and monarch of the Ice Heart Empire were slightly stunned before they shouted out with a face full of laughter. Their faces were filled with excitement. The stronger Ling Jianiar was, the more benefits they would receive. She is actually so outstanding, as expected of the lady that I, Ao Tian, have taken a fancy to. Haha. Ao Tian also stood up with a face full of excitement as he stared at Ling Jian with eyes full of possessiveness. Wang. At this moment, a hexagram suddenly appeared in the middle of the arena. Following that, a scroll that looked like an imperial edict appeared and floated in the air. It's the teleportation array of the only sect. Ancient array, long-distance teleportation. Some people were slightly shocked when they saw the hexagram that suddenly lit up and exclaimed, "The scroll of the Supreme Sect Leader." In the center, 2 green-robed elders waved their arms when they saw the scroll that suddenly appeared. The scroll that looked like an imperial edict flew towards them. "Grand elders, what did my father say?" Ao Tian immediately walked over with a smile on his face. One of the green-robed elders opened the scroll and scanned the words on it with a smile. "Ao Tian, it's the Supreme Headmaster announcing your marriage." The green-robed elder smiled and glanced at the 2 patriarchs of the Ice Heart dynasty. "Grand elders, what does the Supreme Headmaster say?" The white-haired elder and the long-haired elder's eyes flashed with anticipation as they immediately asked, "The Supreme Headmaster is very satisfied. Let's proceed with the competition first. We will announce it when Bing Jian receives her reward." The green-robed elder smiled. Although it was not the disciples of their sect who had won the first place this time, the Supreme Headmaster was even happier. The strongest person has been chosen for this competition. Bing Jian, please step onto the Heaven's Pride stage in the center. The 2 green-robed elders stood up and their voices covered the entire venue. Everyone who was discussing immediately quieted down and looked at Ling Jian. Everyone's gaze was focused on Ling Jian. Wang Xian and sect leader Ling looked at Ling Jian, who was dressed in golden clothes and holding a golden long sword. Her beauty was stunning and her face was full of smiles. She flew to the prodigy stage and stood there quietly like a noble fairy. She turned her head to look at Wang Xian and revealed a faint smile. Bing Jian has won the young prodigy competition of our sect. She has become the first woman to win the competition ever since the establishment of our sect. The Supreme Headmaster has personally conferred Bing Jian the title of unparalleled in the world, the only daughter of our sect, the most favored daughter of the heavens, Bing Jian. The green-robed elder looked at Ling Jian on the prodigy stage and announced, "What? The Supreme Headmaster has personally conferred Bing Jian unparalleled in the world, the only daughter of our sect." I didn't expect that the Supreme Headmaster would actually pay attention to this battle and personally confer the title. Oh my God! When the surrounding people heard the green-robed elder's words, their faces were filled with shock. Everyone looked at Ling Jian with envy. When Ling Jian heard the words of the Supreme Elder, she was also slightly stunned, and a faint smile appeared on her face. In addition, the Supreme Headmaster will personally meet Bing Jian and give her an even more generous reward. The green-robed elder continued. Their words once again filled the surrounding people with envy. "Thank you, Supreme Headmaster, for your love." Ling Jian held her sword and bowed. "Haha, congratulations, Sister Jian." At this moment, a loud laughter came from Ao Tian's mouth. His figure moved and flew towards the position beside Ling Jian. Ling Jian was stunned when she saw Ao Tian flying towards her. She nodded her head politely. Ao Tian did not mind her coldness, and the corner of his mouth curled up. He stood beside Ling Jian and looked towards the people from the Ice Heart Empire. Ling Jian frowned and looked at him curiously. She did not understand why he was standing beside her. Everyone around also looked at young Lord Ao Tian in surprise. Jian father said that once the competition is over, he will give you a big surprise. The king of Bingxin Kingdom looked at Ling Jian and said with a smile, "After my discussion with the old ancestor, I will betroth you to young Lord Ao Tian." The king of Bingxin Kingdom shouted the last 4 words. His voice resounded in everyone's mind. It also shook everyone around, and they all widened their eyes slightly. Marriage, parents' orders, matchmakers' words. "Master, I'll find you the most outstanding youth in the vast region." The long-haired elder from Bingxin Dynasty continued with a smile on his face. "What?" However, Ling Jian Yar's expression changed drastically when she immediately reacted. What's going on? The Icy Heart Empire actually betrothed Bing Jian to young Master Ao Tian. Oh my God, Bing Jian is going to marry young Master Ao Tian. Judging from young Master Ao Tian's appearance, he already knows. Isn't Bing Jian very close to Priest Wang? What's going on? This Bing Jian is actually going to marry young Master Ao Tian. She has soared to the sky. In the future, she might become the most powerful woman in the vast region. Very soon, everyone around was also roaring in a low voice with faces full of shock. They had never expected that, at this moment, the Bing Xian Empire would actually betroth Ling Jian to the young master of Ao Tian. Some people were shocked. Wasn't Ling Jian and Priest Wang a couple? There were also people with faces full of envy. Ling Jian had soared into the sky in one go. However, Wang Xian, who was standing on the spectator stand, instantly shot out a terrifying, killing intent from his eyes. Dragons have reverse scales. Chapter 1581. 1581 Dragon 1581 has a reverse scale 4. Dragon has a reverse scale. Anyone who touches it will die. Wang Xian stood there with killing intent surging in his eyes. His gaze was fixed on everyone in the Bingxin Empire. Violence was brewing in his eyes. Everyone around was discussing in shock. No one expected that Ling Jian who had obtained the title of the Supreme Leader, would be betrothed to the young master of Ao Tian by the Bingxin Empire. When Ling Jian heard her master and the Bingxin king's words, her face was also filled with shock and astonishment. Sister Jian, you are the most outstanding woman I have ever seen. Marry me, and I will let you enjoy the blessings of the heavens. I will let you become the most dazzling woman in the vast region. At this moment, Ao Tian was looking at Ling Jian, with a face full of smiles and confidence. As he spoke, he slowly spread his arms and gave off a domineering aura. In the future, you will be the female owner of this sky. Hiss! The surrounding 100,000 people sucked in a breath of cold air when they heard young Master Ao Tian's declaration. Almost all the girls looked at Ling Jian with envy. However, Ling Jian Yar's expression was getting uglier and uglier. She glanced at Ao Tian, and her gaze landed on the people from the Icy Heart Empire. I don't agree. I will make my own decisions. Her cold voice sounded. What? This? When Ling Jian's voice sounded, everyone from the Icy Heart Empire had a huge change in expression. The people around them were also stunned, and their eyes were shining with a strange light. Ao Tian, who was standing at the side, was slightly stunned. The arrogant expression on his face instantly froze. He turned to Ling Jian and glared at her with a pair of angry eyes. Jian, don't mess around. Marriage is a major event. It is the order of your parents. Furthermore, foster father and master are doing this for your own good. When the king of Bingxin heard Ling Jianyar's words, his expression changed slightly as he spoke in a domineering manner. Bing Qianquan, Bing Fo, is this your decision? Wang Xian stared at the king of Bingxin and the white-haired old man. He called them by their names and questioned them in a cold tone. When the king of Bingxin and the white-haired old man heard Wang Xian's cold words, they frowned slightly and their expressions changed slightly. When everyone around saw this situation, their faces were filled with astonishment as they looked around. No one had expected such a situation to happen. Priest Wang Jian's marriage was decided after careful consideration by us. Let's give her a better life. My Bingxin Empire and my Bingqianquan have many daughters. They are all as beautiful as flowers. You can choose any one of them. Furthermore, as long as Priest Wang likes any of the beauties in the entire Bingxin Empire, I will make the decision for you. The king of Bingxin squeezed out a smile and said to Wang Xian, Haha, almost everyone knows that I, Wang Xian, came to the vast area from the flowing sea region to look for Jian. You guys are forcing me now. Wang Xian laughed out loud. His voice was filled with coldness. He sighed slowly at the last sentence. I already have someone in my heart. Ling Jian stood on the Heaven's Pride stage and shifted her gaze away from Wang Xian. She looked at the king of Bingxin and said calmly, The Bingxin Empire. Ling Jianyar's words and Wang Xian's words caused the two supreme elders of the solitaire sect to turn gloomy instantly. They looked at Ao Tian, who was standing there with endless fury in his eyes. Their eyes were also filled with coldness and anger. The Bingxin Empire had said that they would betroth Bing Jian to the son of their supreme leader. But now they didn't agree. This was a slap to the face of the only sect. This was a violation of the dignity of the only sect. Supreme elders, leave this matter to the Ice Heart dynasty. The white-haired Elder Bing Fa didn't feel the anger of the supreme elder of the only sect. His face changed greatly, and he quickly said, Ao Tian on the prodigy stage slowly raised his head and stood there expressionlessly looking down at everything. Jian, we have already made the decision on this matter. We are doing this for your own good. The matter is settled. In the future, you will marry into the only sect and become the wife of young Master Ao Tian. Cherish this opportunity. Bing Fa Wu's expression also turned cold as he ordered Ling Jianar. As for Priest Wang, This matter is the matter of our Bingxin dynasty. It is not something you can participate in. But don't worry, our Bingxin Empire will give you sufficient compensation. Bing Fa Wu said as he looked at the long-haired elder beside him. This is how the matter is decided. No one can change it. The long-haired elder announced with a gloomy face. Old geezer, how can the matter of Jian be decided by you two? As soon as the two of them finished speaking, Wang Xian's somewhat savage voice sounded. Bastard! When Bing Fa Wu and the long-haired elder heard Wang Xian's words, their faces instantly turned furious. Priest Wang, if it weren't for the fact that you healed me, I would have been able to kill you if you had said those words. Bing Fa Wu growled at him with a face full of anger. Old man, do you know that I was the one who helped you expel the dark soul in your body? How could the Bingxin Empire do such an ungrateful thing? Wang Xian raised his head and stared at Bing Fa Wu. You! Bing Fa Wu's face turned red when he heard his words. Shut up. This is a matter of our Bingxin Empire. You are just a priest. You don't have the right to interfere in our matters. Don't think that you are the #1 priest, and you dare to be so arrogant to our Bingxin Empire. Let me tell you, Jian is lucky to be able to marry young Master Ao Tian. Compared to young Master Ao Tian, you are like a firefly competing with the bright moon. At this moment, Bing Jinghuan, who was standing at the side, had a ferocious look on his face. He was gloating as he shouted at Wang Xian. While Bing Jinghuan was shouting, the people from the Bingxin Empire did not stop him. When Wang Xian heard his words, a smile appeared on his face instead. He had already made a decision in his heart. I don't agree. On the Heaven's Pride stage, Ling Jian said with a determined gaze. She looked at Wang Xian and moved. Buzz. However, just as Ling Jian was about to fly towards Wang Xian, young Master Ao Tian took out a round ball from his hand. The round ball enveloped the Heaven's Pride stage. Ling Jian Yar's expression changed. There was no fluctuation at all when she crashed into the formation. Ao Tian released Jian. Wang Xian saw it, and the terrifying killing intent that he was suppressing erupted. He shouted loudly, There is nothing that I, Ao Tian, cannot get. He looked down at Wang Xian with a domineering expression. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he looked at Ling Jian, who was at the side. Such an outstanding lady is only worthy of me, Ao Tian. No one else is worthy of her. As he spoke, he turned his gaze to everyone in the Bingxin Empire. Bingxin Empire, I hope that all of you can settle this successfully. I don't want to fight. He stood there arrogantly and said faintly, Don't worry, young Master Ao Tian. The king of Bingxin immediately cupped his hands and said firmly, Chapter 1582. 1582, 1,582 dead bodies. 1,000 miles of blood. Now, my Bingxin dynasty announces. Princess Bing Jian, marry young Master Ao Tian. Your parents' orders, matchmaker's words. If anyone dares to interfere, my Bingxin dynasty will definitely punish them severely. The king of Bingxin cupped his hands at young Master Ao Tian. His cold gaze swept across Wang Xian as he gritted his teeth and said coldly. He made the final announcement. What matchmaker's words? I am Jian's father. What right does your Bingxin Empire have to be called Jian Yar's parents? Jian has lost her memory. How long has she been in your Bingxin Empire? Now that Jian doesn't agree, what right do you have to force her? When Sect Masterling, who was standing beside Wang Xian, heard King Bing Xian's words, he revealed an angry expression and roared loudly. Let me out. I won't marry him. Let me out. At the Heaven's Pride stage, Ling Jian brandished the metal longsword in her hand and thrust it heavily towards the formation. However, The sturdy formation did not have the slightest ripple. This is really unexpected. Now, the Bingxin Empire is embarrassed. According to what I said, Bing Jian is not the daughter of the king of Bingxin. Instead, she was brought here by the patriarch of the Bingxin Empire not long ago. Bing Jian is obviously loyal to Priest Wang. Now, however, that Priest Wang is going to be in trouble. The woman that young Master Ao Tian wants, he doesn't have the qualifications at all. Everyone around looked on, pursed their lips, and whispered, "The Bingxin Empire is ungrateful. Today I, Wang Xian, announce, if Jian doesn't leave with me today, I will definitely make your Bingxin Empire bleed for thousands of miles." Wang Xian swept his gaze across Ling Jian and stared at everyone in the Bingxin Empire. His face was filled with killing intent as he announced the same thing. "Ha ha ha! Pastor Wang, I will give you face and address you as Pastor Wang. If I don't give you face, you are nothing in the eyes of our Bingxin Empire. Make my Bingxin Empire bleed for thousands of miles. Do you have the ability to do so?" Ha ha! The long-haired elder from the Bingxin Empire laughed maniacally. A powerful aura that belonged to the 8th level of the see-through realm was emitted from his body as he stared at Wang Xian coldly. The rest of the people from the Bingxin Empire were also staring at Wang Xian with sparkling eyes. Haha, this is really interesting. This is really interesting. A radiant priest, a mere radiant priest, actually dares to challenge the Bingxin Empire. You are really arrogant and conceited. Do you dare to challenge the solipsistic sect? Don't think that just because you saved the crown prince of Wuji Empire, you can act recklessly in the vast region. Bingxin Empire don't have any scruples. All the consequences will be borne by the solipsistic sect. Ao Tian laughed maniacally when he heard Wang Xian's words. His laughter was filled with disdain. In the end, he promised the Bingxin Empire, "Don't be afraid of the Wuji Empire. Their only sect is here. I want to see how you can make our Bingxin Empire bleed for thousands of miles." The long-haired elder flew a few hundred meters forward and looked down at Wang Xian from the sky. Around them, Bing Fa Wu, the King Bing Qingquan, and the experts from the Bingxin Empire immediately flew into the sky and looked down as well. "Ao Tian, you want me to marry you? Dream on." Ling Jian Yar's cold voice sounded from within the array formation on the prodigy stage. "HMPH, you'll be mine for the rest of your life. Not long from now, our wedding will be held under the watchful eyes of the world. Now, I'll bring you back to the only sect to take a look. Let's go. It's not good to watch that fellow die here." Ao Tian saw that everyone was looking in his direction. His expression was not good as he waved his arm. A hexagram pattern appeared in the sky above the heavens' pride stage. Both of their figures disappeared instantly. "Only sect, you are seeking your own destruction." Wang Xian saw Ling Jian, who had disappeared into the formation. His eyes slowly turned black. A violent aura was gathering on his body. "A mere priest. Get rid of him as soon as possible. It's a waste of time," a supreme elder of Soli's sect said indifferently. He gestured to the supreme elder beside him and leaped into the sky. He left directly through the long-distance teleportation of the hexagram. "Remember, a radiant priest. Don't be so arrogant. Otherwise, you will die." The long-haired elder from the Ice Heart Empire stared at Wang Xian and said indifferently, "Kill him." As the two of them spoke, they ordered the two people beside them. "It's the old ancestor." The two powerhouses at level 7 of the see-through realm nodded and walked out slowly. "That priest Wang is going to die. Who would have thought that the Saint of Light would end up like this? He's too arrogant. He dares to provoke anyone. This time I'm afraid he's going to die." When everyone saw the enraged Bingxin Empire was about to make a move, their eyes sparkled as they discussed among themselves. When Wang Xian saw the two seventh-level, profound, void martial stage powerhouses from Bingxin Empire flying out, he narrowed his eyes slightly. The kind of violent killing intent caused his eyes to slowly turn pitch black. You will only have face if our Bingxin Empire gives you face. If we don't give you face, you are nothing. The two experts at level 7 of the see-through void tier stared at Wang Xian and said with disdain. Behind him, Bing Jinghuan was watching this scene with excitement. Cough, 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 I'm finally here. I'm finally here. Priest Wang, save me. Cough, cough, I'll help you. I'll help you kill them. I'll help you bleed thousands of miles and kill everyone. At this moment, a hunchbacked old man walked towards Wang Xian with his walking stick. He swept his gaze across the surroundings and looked at Wang Xian. He forced a smile on his face and said to Wang Xian in a fawning manner. The two powerhouses at level 7 of the see-through realm who were about to make a move were slightly stunned. They looked at the old man. Who is that old man? A cripple? That old man seems to be a cripple. Is there something wrong with his brain? What is he doing here? The old man who appeared out of nowhere and was even talking arrogantly made everyone around him slightly stunned. You old fool who is courting death. Let's die together with you, Priest Wang. The two level 7 insightful void martial artists from the Bingxin Empire revealed a hint of cold disdain on their faces. The staffs and long swords in their hands shot out a violent stream of water and a bone-piercing ice sword. In an instant, they attacked Wang Xian and the hunchbacked old man. Buzz! Wang Xian looked at the two attacks without any emotion in his eyes. He slowly raised his arm. A wave of light energy blocked the attack directly. He turned his head slowly and looked at the hunchbacked old man who was begging to please him. I'll give you a chance to atone for your sins. Wang Xian's dark-haired eyes were filled with violence. He placed his other palm on the old man's chest. Buzz! A terrifying demonic aura entered the old man's body. The soul of darkness that he released instantly trembled. I want to destroy the Bingxin Empire. His cold voice was heard by the stooped old man. Chapter 1583. 1583, 1,583 corpses. 2,000 miles of blood. This is darkness, darkness this. The hunchbacked old man sensed the dark energy in Wang Xian's body. His turbid eyes were wide open, filled with shock and disbelief. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva and stared blankly at Wang Xian's left hand. The dense light energy was resisting the attacks of the two seventh-level, see-through, void martial artists. On his right hand, rolling dark energy entered his body. Agree live, disagree die. Wang Xian looked at the hunchbacked old man who was trembling at the corner of his mouth. His eyes were completely pitch black. Kiki, I like killing people. I will kill whoever you want. The hunchbacked old man felt the energy in his body recover. His face revealed an excited and twisted maniacal laughter as he roared loudly. To be honest, Pastor Wang, I like your personality. Kiki. The hunchbacked old man laughed loudly, and his figure instantly disappeared from Wang Xian's body. A black shadow attacked the two insightful void Tier 7 powerhouses of the Bingxin Empire at a terrifying speed. The insightful void Tier 7 powerhouse, who was surprised that Wang Xian had blocked the two of them in an instant, suddenly felt a sharp pain in his body. Kiki, Priest Wang said that he wants to destroy your Bingxin Empire. Then he will destroy you. There will be millions of corpses and blood will flow for thousands of miles. Kiki. A horrifying voice suddenly resounded in the sky above the venue. Hiss. At the same time, the sound of tearing was heard. Under everyone's shocked gaze, the bodies of the two level 7 insightful void martial artists were directly torn apart by force. Blood, flesh, and internal organs flew everywhere. The blood fog slowly revealed the face of an extremely savage, skinny elder. The dark energy around the elder surged and condensed, as if it was about to explode at any moment. The smell of blood! The elder excitedly licked the blood at the corner of his mouth and shouted in a low voice. What? A rank 8 void interpretation expert. That hunchbacked elder is actually a rank 8 void interpretation expert. He instantly killed 2 rank 7 void interpretation experts from the Bingxin Empire. Heavens, what's going on? That hunchbacked old man is here to seek treatment from Priest Wang, and his condition is to annihilate the Bingxin dynasty? The surrounding people looked at the savage-looking old man with shock on their faces. Rank 8 void interpretation expert. When the Bingxin dynasty saw the 2 rank 7 experts instantly killed, their expressions instantly became extremely unsightly. Damn it, you old thing, you want to make an enemy out of our Bingxin dynasty. Seeing the sudden change, the elder with long hair and ice Fa Wu roared with an ugly expression. Kiki, who asked you to offend Priest Wang, and only he can expel the dark soul in my body. I heard that you were also cured by Priest Wang. TSK. Don't you know that in my life, the people I want the most are those who are ungrateful? The stooped old man lifted his head, slightly as if he was enjoying himself. Streams of demonic aura surged violently in his body. This feeling made him feel extremely good. Priest Wang, it seems like we have really underestimated you. However, do you really think that you can destroy our Bingxin Empire just by relying on a person at level 8 of the Void Interpretation stage? Today, even if there is a powerhouse at level 8 of the Void Interpretation stage helping you, you will still die. The long-haired elder stared at Wang Xian and growled in a low voice with an embarrassed expression. A huge lotus staff appeared in his hand. Water was flowing on the lotus. Bing Fa Wu, who was at the side, had a solemn expression on his face. He was holding a long sword in his hand. Around him, the supreme elder of the solitaire sect looked at the hunchbacked elder and frowned slightly. Go to the sky and fight. Don't destroy the solitaire sect's territory. He warned the Bingxin Empire and the hunchbacked old man arrogantly. TSK Tisk. The hunchbacked old man smiled sinisterly and looked at the supreme elder of the sect. From now on, don't call me Pastor Wang. Wang Xian glanced at the supreme elder of the sect and stared at everyone in the Bingxin Empire with his pitch-black pupils. Now, without Pastor Wang, I prefer others to call me. As he spoke, he slowly opened his arms, and wisps of black gas seeped out from his body. The change in Wang Xian's body immediately attracted everyone's attention. Everyone was astonished when they saw wisps of black gas seeping out from a powerful pastor of light. God! Demon! A roar came out from Wang Xian's mouth, and the light aura on his body was swept away. What replaced it was endless darkness. The thick darkness directly shot up from Wang Xian's body. A violent, and terrifying aura swarmed around Wang Xian. Today I, Wang Xian, will not destroy the Ice Heart Empire and the Sky Demon. A wild roar came out from his mouth. The voice spread across thousands of miles. Everyone in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom could hear it clearly. In an instant, the entire ruins of the Divine Kingdom was silent for 2 seconds. Everyone looked towards the direction of the lone sect. Their eyes were wide open and filled with shock. This roar was simply too terrifying. Wasn't Wang Xian the name of Priest Wang? Eternal Bingxin Empire, no Sky Demon. This meant that Eternal Ice Heart Empire could not fully embody the name of Sky Demon. Priest Wang, Sky Demon. These 2 names were now like thunder in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. One was the Saint of Light, and the other was the number 1 devil in the world, Sky Demon. What was the relationship between the Saint of Light and Sky Demon? In the He clan, everyone in the He clan had a huge change in expression when they heard this howl. All the experts of the He clan looked at each other before flying towards the direction of the howl. In Wuji Empire, Wuqing City, and the other experts were slightly shocked when they heard the roar. They immediately flew towards the direction of Solitaire Sect. Boom! What's going on? Oh my God! Priest Wang! How can Priest Wang be a sky demon? I can't believe it. The Saint of Light is actually a sky demon. Fuck. Tell me this isn't real. The pinnacle of a radiant priest, the #1 devil in the vast region. How could they be the same person? All of these, the people around the Hall of Supreme Self, were all in shock. They couldn't believe it as they looked at Wang Xian, who had a demonic aura that shook the sky. Their eyes were wide open. Who could believe that the Saint of Light, the priest who saved the world with the hanging urn and had a benevolent heart, was actually able to wipe out 1 million people in the ancient demon city? The moment he appeared, he wiped out 25 sky fiends who were at the 7th level of the see-through void tier. This was simply too crazy. 2 extremely differentiated identities, one good and one evil. It shocked the world. Cough, cough. How is this possible? At this moment, when everyone in the Bingxin Empire saw Wang Xian's violent roar and felt that terrifying aura, their pupils constricted slightly. A hint of fear appeared on their faces. They were not afraid of Pastor Wang because, no matter how strong a pastor was, he was not a match for the Bingxin Empire. However, they were afraid of the Sky Demon, a sky demon that made all the forces fear him. However, the words Eternal Bingxin Empire and Eternal Sky Demon resounded throughout the world. Chapter 1584. 1584 1,584 dead bodies. 3,000 miles of blood. Boom! Just when everyone was shocked by Wang Xian's identity, he swung his arm towards the sky above the heavens' pride stage. His arm instantly turned into a dragon claw. Terrifying dark energy landed on the top of the heavens' pride stage. Bzzz, bzzz. Boom, boom, boom. A wave of energy rolled on the top of the heavens' pride stage. Hexagrams appeared and slowly collapsed. What are you trying to do? When the Supreme Elder of the Solipsistic Sect saw that Wang Xian was the Sky Demon, his expression changed drastically. When he saw that Wang Xian had destroyed the long-distance teleportation, he growled in a low voice with an extremely embarrassed expression. Of course, I'm going to destroy all of you. Wang Xian looked at the Supreme Elder of the Solipsistic Sect and said in a calm voice, Hiss. Wang Xian's words caused the hundreds of thousands of people present to suck in a breath of cold air. Everyone was staring at Wang Xian in a frenzy, especially those from the Solipsistic Sect. Their expressions kept changing. If it was someone else who said this, they might feel that it was beneath them. However, this was the Sky Demon, the famous Sky Demon. Regarding such a crazy demon, no one dared to doubt his words. Destroy us. The Supreme Elder of the Solipsistic Sect had a slight change in expression when he heard Wang Xian's words. However, following that, a domineering aura emanated from his body. Sky Devil? So what if you are a Sky Devil? In this world, the Solipsistic Sect is the most powerful sect. Even if you are a Sky Devil, don't be so arrogant today. The Supreme Elder of the Solipsistic Sect roared in a low voice with a cold expression as he stood there. Kill! Today, I will destroy the Bingxin dynasty. I will make millions of corpses and make blood flow for thousands of miles. Kill! However, Wang Xian did not pay any attention to the threat of the Supreme Elder of the Solipsistic Sect. He let out a furious roar. Roar! 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 Divine Dragon Transformation. A pitch-black divine dragon that was about 150 meters long appeared in the sky. Its brutal aura filled a radius of dozens of kilometers. Kiki, kill, kill, kill. The stooped old man was able to kidnap Wang Xian to treat his injuries back then. It could be seen that he was not a good person. The stooped old man was also emitting a monstrous demonic aura as he charged forward to attack. Boss demon, leave these two guys from the Bingxin Empire to me. The stooped old man glanced at Wang Xian with some shock and fear in his eyes. He let out a strange cry and went up to meet the Ice Dharma No and long-haired old man. He was fighting two people at the 8th level of the see-through void tier alone. Even though his body had just recovered, he had the confidence to do so. After all, his strength at his peak was not only at the 8th level of the see-through void tier. Kill! Everyone in the Ice Heart Empire looked extremely embarrassed when they saw the situation. Their hearts were trembling violently. It was out of their expectations. It was completely out of their expectations. They never expected that they would reach this stage. They never expected that the Saint of Light was actually a sky demon. Roar! Roar! At this moment, Wang Xian swayed his huge body and attacked the Supreme Elder of the Solitaire sect directly. Beast, you have offended the Solitaire sect. Kill him! The Supreme Elder of the Solitaire sect roared with a cold face. Numerous cyan-colored giant swords appeared around him. Dragon Kingdom in the palm. Wang Xian didn't hesitate at all and didn't hold back at all. So what if he was from the Solitaire sect? Today, even if he had to risk his life, he would make everyone tremble in fear. He would also make the Solitaire sect tremble in fear. Only in this way would they not dare to do anything to Jian. Go to hell, Dharma Idol, Qingming Sword. The Supreme Elder of the Solitaire sect looked at the rumored demon claw with a grim expression. He immediately released his Dharma Idol. Numerous huge swords were emitting green wind waves as if they were piercing through the sky. They attacked Wang Xian directly. Run! Run quickly! The battle between the experts of level 8 of the see-through realm is not something we can watch. Quick, quick! Oh my God! Who would have thought that this would happen? Who would have thought that Priest Wang is the sky demon? This time, the Bingxin Empire has offended the wrong person. Even the solipsistic sect has probably offended someone they shouldn't have offended. When the spectators saw the battle, they all fled in fear. The area of the battle of a rank 8 void interpretation expert covered an area of 20 kilometers. Within these 20 kilometers, if one was hit by the shock waves, one would die instantly. Over 100,000 people fled in fear. I've said it before. The people of the Bingxin Empire and the Soul Heart sect must die. Wang Xian crushed the Supreme Elder's Qingming sword form with his dragon claw. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he looked at the Soul Heart sect and everyone from the Bingxin Empire who wanted to escape. Roar, roar, Dharma Idol, Abyss Demonic Dragon. Wang Xian roared loudly. The demonic aura on his body burst out. Every scale of his divine dragon body was trembling. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, a huge pitch-black door suddenly appeared in the sky. The huge black door was like an abyss as it opened slowly. Buzz! The demonic dragon pearl of the 8th level of the see-through realm in Wang Xian's body rushed into the huge abyss door. Roar! Roar! A roar that sounded like a tyrant's roar was heard from the huge abyss door. Then, a huge dragon head came out of the abyss. It had brutal, blood-red eyes and a ferocious face. With the demonic dragon pearl as its soul and dark energy as its body, the demonic dragon slowly came out. The terrifying aura on its body made everyone tremble. My God, what is that? What a terrifying aura. It's at least at the 8th level of the profound void martial stage. At this moment, the experts from the Wuji Empire, the He clan, and the other factions were flying towards them. When they saw the terrifying creatures coming out from the huge black door that covered an area of 10 kilometers, all of them sucked in a breath of cold air. Even the experts at the 8th level of the profound void martial stage stopped in fear. What on earth happened to make that sky demon so angry that he even wanted to kill the disciples of our sect? Everyone's eyes flickered as they looked over and thought to themselves, "Oh no, run! All disciples of our sect, run away now! I see law enforcement. Go and block the dark creatures in the sky." The supreme elder of our sect saw another terrifying creature appear in the sky, and his heart pounded violently. He hurriedly shouted, "Supreme Elder, our opponent is very strong. We can't separate our bodies at all." The two ancestors of the Ice Heart Empire roared with trembling voices. At this moment, they were completely flustered. The hunchbacked old man in front of them was actually able to fight two people at the same time without being at a disadvantage. In fact, he was even able to do it with ease. This caused the Sky Demon to summon another level 8 creature of the profound void martial stage. He was completely unable to block it. Kill! The Abyss Demon Dragon let out a hoarse and brutal aura. His black dragon flame landed on all the disciples of the lone sect. Ah! Screams sounded instantly. The disciples of the Solitaire sect, who had always been high and mighty and thought that they were superior, revealed a terrified expression. As the dark demon flame landed, screams sounded. At this moment, they knew that the Sky Demon didn't care that they were the disciples of the Solitaire sect. It might really be, as they had said, causing millions of corpses to be buried and thousands of miles of blood to flow. Chapter 1585. 1585, 1,500, and 8,500, and 8,500,000 dead bodies, and 10,000 miles of blood. Bastard, die! My sect will definitely behead you. Screams of pain rang out from the surroundings. Even the elders of the sect, who were at level 6 of the see-through void stage, could not withstand a single strike from the Abyss demonic dragon. The violent demonic dragon, the terrifying demonic flames, and even the violent power of darkness swept past, causing the deaths of many disciples of the sect. When the supreme elder of the sect saw Wang Xian's murderous look, he was furious. A green wind radiance enveloped his entire body. Dharma Idol, Stormblade. At this moment, the supreme elder of the sect did not dare to restrain himself. He unleashed all the power in his body. A terrifying storm formed around him. At the center of the storm, the wind blade was spinning. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of mountains being torn apart rang out in the surroundings. The two mountains that were thousands of meters tall on both sides were directly turned into sharp rocks by the wind blades. Some of the disciples of the Soul Heart sect and the people from the Ice Heart Empire were even directly crushed by the wind blades when they weren't able to dodge in time. The area affected by a battle between experts was simply too large. When it came to a real battle, there was no time to care about the weak. Screams of pain rang out instantly. In an instant, thousands of people died in the aftermath of his Dharma idol. Everyone fled into the distance in panic. They wished they could grow a pair of wings. Explode! Wang Xian's pitch-black pupils were like an abyss. At the location of his heart, the heart of light and darkness, the glow of darkness flourished and almost completely covered the traces of light. An unceasing stream of dark energy surged into his entire body, causing each of Wang Xian's attacks to be unusually violent. The incomparably huge, dark dragon claw clawed directly at the supreme elder of the solipsistic sect. The violent darkness contained within collided heavily with the storm blades, resulting in a terrifying explosion. A shockwave was sent out in all directions. Buzz! At this moment, the people nearby seemed to have lost their voices. The two mountains that were thousands of meters tall collapsed immediately, and the ground collapsed more than 10 meters deep. The collision of the terrifying energy caused the entire space to tremble. Break! When the supreme elder of the solipsistic sect saw this scene, his expression was extremely unsightly. The storm blades were neutralized, and the terrifying dragon claws were still present. He waved his hands with an extremely unsightly expression. A terrifying hurricane force wanted to lift Wang Xian into the sky to fight. In less than 5 minutes, the foundation of the entire sect would be reduced to ruins. Is that all you have? Then go to hell. Wang Xian stared coldly at the supreme elder of the sect. His huge dragon mouth opened slowly. Dragon, head to the world. Roar. A dragon head that was 3 to 4 kilometers in size appeared in the sky. The eyes that were the size of a house and 4 long dark dragon whiskers were like monsters from another world. A dragon roar shook the entire ruins of the divine kingdom. Wang Xian opened his huge dragon mouth and swallowed the supreme elder of the sect, who was like an ant. Damn it! The supreme elder of the solitaire sect looked at the dragon mouth that was a few kilometers in size. He felt as though a huge abyss was swallowing him. It was the first time he had encountered such a terrifying creature. With a body size of a few kilometers, a small-scale attack could not cause any damage to his body. However, a large-scale attack would consume too much energy. If it landed on his body, he would only be able to withstand the attack of the opponent. This made him feel a trace of fear in his heart. He was the supreme elder of the solitaire sect. His strength was among the best among those of the same level. A heavenly wind has descended from the sky. The earth has risen, and the terrain has risen. Break for me. The supreme elder of the solitaire sect gritted his teeth. 10 giant cyan swords shot into the sky. 10 giant cyan swords plunged into the earth. The wind rose, and the earth shook. A terrifying cyan light condensed in the middle. The cyan glow floated in the air for a total of 2,000 to 3,000 meters. The wind currents in the cyan glow surged at a speed that could tear through everything. It met the attack of the dragon's mouth directly. Roar! Roar! 10,000-mile dragon body. Wang Xian did not dodge at all. He went straight for the terrifying cyan glow to devour it. Hiss this. This is fucking unbelievable. It directly devoured the Dharma idol of the solicitous sect's level 8 see-through expert. Oh my god, look at the body of that sky demon. What kind of Dharma idol does the sky demon cultivate? How can it be so terrifying? At this moment, the experts of the Wuji Empire, the He clan, and the other forces arrived at a place more than 10 kilometers away from the battlefield. Seeing that the sky demon directly swallowed the green light, all of them had shocked expressions on their faces, especially when they saw the dragon body behind the heavenly devil expanding at a terrifying speed. It expanded to an area of 7 to 8 kilometers. 3 to 4 kilometers of dragon balls, 3 to 4 kilometers of dragon heads, and 7 to 8 kilometers of dragon bodies. Such a terrifying colossus, even with a light sweep, possessed terrifying destructive power. Hiss this. When the supreme elder of the solipsistic sect saw the Dharma idol being devoured, his expression was extremely ugly. When the entire Dharma idol was devoured, his expression changed drastically when he saw the dragon mouth that covered an area of a few kilometers heading towards him. Too strong. He quickly dodged to the side with an ugly expression. His body shook and a pair of green wings appeared on his back. Crash! However, at this moment, pitch-black chains in the sky swept towards him. Not good. The supreme elder of the lone sect revealed a trace of fear in his eyes as he slashed out with his swords towards the black chains. Roar! However, in just an instant he felt his surroundings turn dark as a violent energy charged towards him. His expression was filled with shock, as though he had entered a black hole and wanted to rush out. However, the violent dark energy was like an ocean, directly annihilating him. A level 8 profound void martial artist has fallen, hiss. A level 8 profound void martial artist, other than those who died of natural causes. It has been over 1,000 years since such an ancestor-level expert died. This Scythian strength is really terrifying. Even a level 8 profound void martial artist can be killed so quickly. When the surrounding people saw the supreme elder of the lone sect being devoured, Their expressions instantly changed. They were discussing in shock. The eighth level of the see-through realm could be considered to be an expert that could suppress an area of 100,000 kilometers in the Transcendence continent. Now he was actually killed. This allowed everyone to have a deeper understanding of the strength of the sky demon. Roar. Boom. Boom. With a roar, Wang Xian's body, which was more than 10 kilometers long, landed on the ground. The entire area of the Soul Heart sect was in a mess. His gigantic dragon eyes stared at the two patriarchs of the Ice Heart Empire in the sky. Run, run now. Being stared at by the gigantic dragon eyes, the hearts of the two patriarchs of the Ice Heart Empire, who were facing the hunchbacked old man, pounded violently. Without any hesitation, they fled into the distance frantically. Chapter 1586. 1586, 1,586 corpses and 5,000 miles of blood. Damn cowards! If I was at my peak, I could crush you all with one hand. The stooped old man looked furious when he saw the two ancestors of the Bingxin Empire escaping. The soul of darkness in his body had not been cleared by Wang Xian. He was only suppressed. His strength had not reached its peak yet. With the strength that he had just recovered a little, he could easily pin down two experts at the eighth level of the see-through realm. However, it was still a little difficult to keep them alive. Bingxin Empire, I will destroy your country and your people. I will make your blood flow for tens of thousands of miles. I will destroy all your cities and destroy all the members of the Royal Ice Clan. Destroy your country and your clan. I will come and look for you very soon. Wait for my arrival. Roar, roar. Wang Xian's tyrannical dragon eyes stared at the long-haired elder and Bing Fa Wu, who were fleeing. A ghastly voice was transmitted over. The two figures, who had already fled 10 kilometers away, trembled in the air. Their expressions were extremely ugly. There was a hint of fear in their eyes. They had never expected that they would be faced with the calamity of having their country annihilated just because they had taken the initiative to marry Ling Zhen to the young Master Aotian in order to curry favor with the solipsistic sect. They even wanted to exterminate all the members of the Imperial Ice Clan. As the Ice Empire that had stood tall in the vast region for tens of thousands of years, the members of the Ice Clan alone numbered in the tens of millions. Most of them were gathered in the Ice Heart Imperial City. With the ferocity and tyranny of the Sky Demon, he would definitely do as he said. Why is Pastor Wang the Sky Demon? Why? They could not help but roar in their hearts. Their faces were filled with bitter smiles, and thick regret surged into their hearts. Because of a woman, because of them, they had directly plunged the Bingxin dynasty into danger. Let's go back immediately. Master 8 is in the Imperial City. I refuse to believe that with the strength of the three of us, and with the foundation of our Bingxin dynasty, we can't resist a sky devil. Both of them revealed an extremely embarrassed expression. With a gloomy expression, they fled quickly towards the imperial city of the Bingxin Empire. Wang Xian didn't chase after them because they couldn't escape. If they dared to run, he would dare to exterminate everyone in the Bingxin Empire. Boom! He swayed his huge body and looked towards the direction in front of him. The Abyss Demon Dragon was wreaking havoc on everything in the area of the Lone Sect. Everything within a radius of dozens of kilometers had turned into ruins. On the ground, there were tens of thousands of corpses. The most eye-catching thing was that in the center, there was a formation that was emitting green light. The formation was like a green castle. There was no light circulating as if it was material. Even though the Abyss Demon Dragon had struck it more than 10 times, it did not break. Inside the formation, more than 30 middle-aged young men and old men were looking outside with pale faces. When they saw Wang Xian's dragon eyes looking over, their hearts trembled. Wang Xian's body swayed, and he came to the top of the formation. His pair of emotionless dragon eyes were staring inside. Sky Demon, if you dare to kill us, my lone sect will kill you, even if we have to chase you to the ends of the earth. In the middle of the formation, an old man shouted loudly. Bang! Wang Xian's dragon claws landed heavily on the formation, enveloping the entire formation. Waves of dense dark energy corroded the formation. The continuous darkness caused the green formation to turn black slowly. Let us go, let us go. Upon seeing this scene, the people from the lone sect in the formation were completely flustered as they shouted in horror. Crack! Crack! The formation cracked slowly, causing the people inside to feel even more despair. I, Wang Xian, am here today to warn all of you from the lone sect. Wang Xian opened his dragon mouth, and his voice spread across a radius of more than 10,000 kilometers. If Jian is missing a single hair, I will fight to the death with all of you, the only sect. Everything here is a warning to all of you. If you don't send Jian over, I will kill every single disciple of the only sect I see until I die, or all of you die. Wang Xian's tone was filled with endless killing intent as he roared. His gaze slowly landed on the area below the dragon claw. It was an elder of the 7th level of the see-through void sect of the solicitous sect, as well as a group of elite disciples. Even the 2 heavens favorites from heaven and earth were also located within the formation. They looked at Wang Xian with trembling eyes. Their arrogant and confident expressions that were above everything vanished completely. In front of Wang Xian, they were like ants. Wang Xian's gigantic dragon claw pointed straight ahead. A stream of resplendent black light descended from the dragon claw. No, I don't want to die yet. I don't want to die. Don't kill me, don't kill me. In front of Wang Xian, the 2 peerless heavens favorites in heaven and earth had completely lost their hatred for Wang Xian. They only hoped that Wang Xian would spare their lives. As the dragon claws descended, corpses were instantly left on the ground. The heavens favorites from the heavens and the earth of the solitaire sect died immediately. They were unexcelled in their glory. The 2 heavens favorites, who had declared their dominance over the entire vast region, were crushed to death like ants. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, waves of terrifying demonic flames came from the sky. In the sky, the abyss demonic dragon opened its huge mouth. Rolling dark flames fell towards the ground. Everything was burned and corroded by the darkness. There was nothing in the entire solipsistic sect's base in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Go and destroy the territory of the Bingxin Empire in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings. Finally, he looked at the hunchbacked old man and said to him, It's Boss Demon. I'm the best at killing and setting fires. Kiki. The hunchbacked old man moved and flew directly towards the direction of the Bingxin Empire. This sky devil actually threatened our sect and killed everyone here. As expected of the sky devil, he isn't afraid of our sect at all and isn't afraid of their revenge. This kind of devil, whoever dares to provoke him will be courting death. The Bingxin Empire was originally on good terms with Priest Wang. Why did he suddenly become so angry and vow to exterminate him or even his entire clan? Shocked voices sounded out from the surroundings. Everyone looked at the ruined solipsism and gulped. This was one of the 3 superpowers, the solipsism. Many people were curious about the reason why Priest Wang was so angry. He didn't care about the solipsism and swore to destroy the Ice Heart dynasty. Soon, everything that happened here and the cause of it were spread to the various superpowers. When they received this news, everyone was stunned. This caused them to mock the Bingxin dynasty. Priest Wang has been kind to you, yet you are ungrateful. In the end, they never expected that Priest Wang was the legendary sky demon. This time, the Bingxin dynasty was completely destroyed. Looking at the figure in the ruins ahead, the eyes of the experts from the various factions flashed. Chapter 1587. 1587, 1587 buried millions of corpses and bled thousands of miles. Boom, boom, boom. In the ruins of the divine kingdom, the silence did not last long when the rumbling sound was heard again. Has it started? It seems that the Sky Demon is going to exterminate the Bingxin dynasty this time, and it will be a bloody extermination. Won't the Sky Demon exterminate everyone in the Bingxin dynasty? That's tens of billions of people. It's impossible to exterminate everyone. It's highly possible to exterminate the royal family's Ice Clan. The Sky Demon said that just now. Who asked the Ice Heart dynasty to be ungrateful? They deserve to be kicked into the abyss. Hearing the roars and screams from the Ice Heart dynasty, everyone felt their hearts tremble. The hunchbacked old man was also a ruthless person. Are we going to destroy the country? In less than 5 minutes, a terrifying black shadow flew over directly. In front of him, a blood-red ball of blood was pulsating in front of him. The blood ball was extremely strange and evil. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the surroundings. His body moved and immediately returned to his size of about 150 meters. His gaze was fixed on the stooped old man. Boss Missouri, this is a good item in my hands. This is the bloodline of the Ice Clan of the Bingxin Empire. Since Boss Missouri wants to exterminate your entire clan, I will naturally help you to prepare properly. With this bloodline demon group, I can sense everyone in the Bingxin Empire. When the time comes, I will kill them directly. How about it, Boss Missouri? Isn't this one very powerful? The stooped old man's eyes lit up as he said to Wang Xian in a fawning manner, "Let's go." Wang Xian gave a cold glance. His body moved and he flew directly in the direction of the Bingxin Empire. "All right, Boss Demon." The stooped old man grinned and flew in the sky, following closely behind Wang Xian. In this world, anyone who dares to provoke me, Boss Demon, will die. I don't care if you are from the solipsistic sect or the Bingxin Empire. The hunchbacked elder let out a maniacal laugh that spread throughout the entire ruins of the divine kingdom. 2 terrifying demonic shadows flew rapidly towards the Bingxin Empire. The Sky Demon is not simple. That elder is not simple either. At the position of the Wuji Empire, Patriarch Dark Eye and all the experts of the Wuji Empire were standing at a spot more than 10 kilometers away. Looking at the figures of Wang Xian and the stooped old man, Patriarch Dark, I said with a slightly solemn tone, "Oh, Patriarch, even you think that the Sky Demon and the old man are stronger?" Wu Qingqing, who was standing at the side, asked in shock when he heard Patriarch Dark Eye's words. Wang Xian had caused too much trouble this time. He had killed all the experts and core disciples of the Solitaire sect. This matter was no longer something that he could lend a hand to. Every single one of them has a terrifying energy hidden in their bodies. Dark Pupil frowned, and his eyes were filled with solemnity. They might even be able to escape under my hands. Hiss! When everyone in the Wuji Empire heard their forefathers' evaluation, they all took a deep breath. This was the forefather of their empire who was nearly invincible in the vast region. He actually had such a high evaluation of the Sky Demon and the hunchbacked old man. That Wang Xian is really mysterious. He cultivates both light and darkness. I really don't understand. Wu Qingqing looked at the sky with a complicated expression. This Sky Demon killed many disciples of the Solitaire sect and destroyed the base of the Solitaire sect. The Solitaire sect should be furious. This Sky Demon is really unbridled. Now he's going to destroy the Ice Heart Empire. What's going to happen next is interesting. The experts of the Southern Royal Family were also discussing at the side. The vast region was about to become lively. The Saint of Light, Priest King, was a Sky Demon. The Ice Heart dynasty had ungratefully betrothed Bingjian, to young Lord Ao Tan. The news of Priest King vowing to destroy the Ice Heart dynasty quickly spread throughout the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. When everyone heard the news, their faces were filled with shock and disbelief. First of all, the fact that the Sage of Light was a sky demon made many people feel incredulous. However, many people still supported Priest Wang in this sudden battle. Firstly, Priest Wang had saved many people, and secondly, the people that the sky demon had killed were all extremely vicious. On the contrary, it was the ingratitude of the Ice Heart Empire that made everyone despise them. Boss Demon, the location in front is a city of the Bingxin Empire. Wang Xian and the hunchbacked old man were extremely fast. In just a few minutes, they had already flown a few thousand kilometers. The Bingxin Empire was not very far from the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Very soon, a city appeared in their line of sight. Kill! Wang Xian did not hesitate at all. His tyrannical eyes flew towards the city in front of him. His body was filled with brutality. If he overused the dark energy, the brutal dark energy would fill his mind. Kiki, its boss Missouri, anyone with the bloodline of the Bingxin Empire, kill them all. The hunchbacked old man let out a weird cry. The shadows of the two of them instantly appeared above the city. The city covered an area of 100 kilometers. The population below had reached tens of millions. All citizens of the Bingxin dynasty, listen up. The royal family of the Bingxin dynasty has offended our Lord Sky Fiend. All of you, kneel on the ground immediately. The hunchbacked elder floated in the sky as a ghastly and terrifying voice charged downwards. Crack, crack, crack. The instantly activated city protection array was instantly blasted apart by a powerful force. A terrifying pressure covered the area below. What? My sky? Sky demon? It's that demon sky demon. In the city, everyone raised their heads and looked at the two terrifying demon shadows in the sky. Their faces were filled with fear. Even some insightful void martial artists were filled with shock. After today, there will be no more Ice Heart Empire. Wang Xian's cold dragon eyes stared downwards. A surge of demonic dragon's might was directed downwards. Everyone in the city had a drastic change in expression as they spat out blood. You bunch of damned Bingxin Empire bastards, hurry up and kneel down. The hunchbacked old man roared at the people below. Yes, yes. Kneel down, hurry up and kneel down. My God. Everyone hurriedly knelt on the ground, their eyes filled with terror. All those who have the bloodline of the royal family of the Bingxin dynasty will die. Kiki. Extermination I love it the most. When everyone was kneeling on the ground, the hunchbacked old man waved his arm. The blood ball in front of him directly attacked the figures below. Those who possessed the royal bloodline were mostly the upper echelons of the city. Faced with the strange methods of the hunchbacked old man, the people from the royal family of Bingxin revealed terrified expressions. Ah! Continuous sounds rang out. At least 1,000 people in the entire city were all dead. Boom! Wang Xian's gaze swept past them. He didn't pay any attention to them and continued to fly towards the direction of the Bingxin Empire. Don't blame him for being ruthless. He treated the Bingxin Empire very well. In fact, he even owed them a favor. However, they repaid his kindness with enmity and wanted to kill him. In that case, he should start paying the price with blood. 1,000,000 corpses will be buried, and blood will flow for thousands of miles. Begin. Chapter 1588. 1588, there were 1,588 dead bodies and thousands of miles of blood. There's news from Wanbei City of the Bingxin Empire. The Sky Demon and an old man with monstrous demonic aura have appeared. All the disciples of the royal family of the Bingxin Empire have been killed. Kill anyone who doesn't kneel. This is the 8th city. While Wang Xian and the hunchbacked old man were massacring in the Bingxin Empire, the news had also spread to the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Everyone had shocked expressions on their faces. This sky demon really wants to exterminate all the members of the royal family of the Bingxin Empire. Sky demon is worthy of being a sky demon. The unkillable Bingxin Empire, the unkillable sky demon. He is fulfilling his promise. Back then, Pastor Wang helped the patriarch of the Bingxin Empire expel the dark soul from his body for free. Now they have forcefully separated Ling Jian, and Wang Xian. They even want to kill Pastor Wang. Naturally, Pastor Wang will not let them off. I support Pastor Wang to exterminate the empire. All ungrateful people, kill them all. In the ruins of the Divine Kingdom, everyone was discussing loudly after receiving the news. The extermination of the empire was being carried out under the attention of the entire vast region. If the Bingxin Empire was exterminated, it would set off a storm in the vast region. In an incomparably beautiful city, screams of pain could be heard endlessly. More than 10,000 people, Kiki. The hunchbacked elder flew over and licked his tongue. The ball of blood in front of him was already 2 meters in size. The dancing ball of blood looked abnormally evil. Boss Devil, more than 1,000 kilometers ahead, is the imperial city of the Ice Heart Empire, the majestic empire on the Ice Heart Lake. The entire imperial city has been standing for more than 10,000 years. There must be many powerful arrays inside. The hunchbacked old man pointed ahead and said with excitement in his eyes, "Let's go." Wang Xian didn't hesitate at all and flew directly toward the imperial city of the Bingxin Empire. Today, no matter what, the country must be destroyed and people must be killed. Only cruelty and bloodshed could make the sect afraid. Only then would the sect not dare to do anything to Jian, regardless of whether it was the anger and brutality in his heart or for Jian Er's sake. Today, the sky would definitely be dyed red. It's just ahead. It's been a long, long time since I last started killing. The hunchbacked old man's turbid eyes were filled with excitement. Wang Xian stared ahead. In front of him was an incomparably huge lake. The water in the lake was so clear that the bottom could be seen. In the center was a huge castle. The entire castle was suspended above the lake. It was like a world in a dream. At this moment, the huge castle was completely enveloped in the azure blue lake water. Roar, roar, Ice Dharmaraja. Is the Bingxin Empire ready to be destroyed? Wang Xian stared at the castle in front of him, and a strong murderous intent shot out from his eyes. Damn sky demon! Our Bingxin Empire has stood in the vast region for more than 10,000 years. Is it really that easy to destroy our empire? At this moment, in front of the main gate of the Bingxin Imperial City, all the experts of the Bingxin Empire were standing on the city wall. There were more than 100,000 people. Their eyes were filled with killing intent as they stared at Wang Xian and the stooped old man. The long-haired old man looked extremely embarrassed as he stared at them and growled in a low voice. Those who dare to offend our Bingxin Empire will be killed without mercy. Killed without mercy. What Sky Devil and Earth Devil? As long as they dare to go against our Bingxin dynasty, let them go to hell. That's right. Kill the Sky Devil, hang his head on the city wall, and chop his body into pieces. On the city wall, the experts of the Bingxin dynasty shouted sternly. The 3 forefathers of the Bingxin dynasty stood in the center. The king of the Ice Heart dynasty stood to the side. The king of the Ice Heart dynasty did not die in the martial arts arena of the Solitaire sect. As the king of a first-rate force, he had powerful life-saving methods. The moment the battle broke out, he escaped with his son, Bing Jinghuan. Looking at the sky demon in front of him, his body trembled. Right and wrong, regret, unwillingness, anger, and finally thick killing intent. We must kill the sky fiend. We must. I thought you were so powerful, but you were still hiding in your nest. Look, this is the blood of the royal family of the Bingxin dynasty. The blood flows for thousands of miles and more than 200,000 dog lives. He. The hunchbacked old man moved and floated in the center, the blood in front of him jumping. An evil aura emanated from his body, and his appearance was that of an evil villain. What? That ball of blood gives me a very familiar feeling. This damn devil, kill him, kill him. Blood flowing for tens of thousands of miles? How dare he slaughter the members of our royal family's ice clan? We can't let them off. The hundreds of thousands of people on the city walls were mostly members of the royal family's ice clan. When they saw this scene, their eyes turned blood red as they roared with killing intent. Even the 3 elders of the Bingxin Empire had blood-red eyes and their bodies were trembling slightly. Priest Wang, you've killed them as well. Now, do you really want to fight to the death with our Bingxin Empire? Bing Fafu stared at Wang Xian with an extremely embarrassed expression as he roared in a low voice. There's no need for the ungrateful clan to exist in this world. Wang Xian roared with a furious expression. He opened his huge dragon mouth, and a ball of black flame flew straight towards the imperial city. Good. Do you really think that our Bingxin Empire will be afraid of you? The white-bearded elder, who was in the middle, roared with a ferocious expression. He waved his arm. Buzz. The formation that included the imperial city of Bingxin condensed into a giant sword that was 1,000 meters in size. The giant sword flew towards Wang Xian and the hunchbacked elder. Such a powerful attack formation. TSK. The hunchbacked old man looked at the huge sword that was attacking him with a cold look in his eyes. He waved his arm and numerous black spears flew towards the huge sword. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of intense explosions could be heard. That's right. An attack formation can threaten a powerhouse at level 8 of the see-through realm, as expected of an empire that has stood for tens of thousands of years. The hunchbacked old man licked his tongue and looked at Wang Xian. Boss demon, it's a little troublesome. An offensive formation can threaten a powerhouse at level 8 of the see-through realm. A defensive formation will definitely be able to withstand an attack from a powerhouse at level 8 of the see-through realm. He said to Wang Xian, You wish to destroy our Bingxin Empire? Dream on. At the city wall, the 3 old men from the Bingxin Empire stared at Wang Xian and the stooped old man with eyes filled with killing intent. Is that so? I really want to give it a try. Wang Xian licked his lips and stared at the sky above the Bingxin Imperial City. Dharma Idol, Abyss Demonic Dragon. Wang Xian roared loudly. Darkness gathered in the sky, and a huge abyss door slowly appeared. Although I haven't achieved the fusion of light and darkness, I can achieve the balance between light and darkness. Let's try this move. After Wang Xian released his Dharma Idol, Abyss Demonic Dragon, a ray of light slowly appeared in the abyss-like, deep dragon's eyes. The light slowly covered his body. For the first time, he transformed into a divine light dragon. The dragon pearl was spat out from his mouth. The light power in the heart of light and darkness was activated at full strength. Countless rays of light surged towards the light dragon pearl, a divine light dragon that was similar to the abyss demonic dragon condensed in the sky. One light and one darkness. The yin and yang were polar opposites, creating and destroying each other. Wang Xian forcefully created 2 divine light dragons and dark divine dragons with the same strength. 2 dragons destroy the world. Chapter 1589. 1589, dyed the sky red. Roar, 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 roar. 2 roars sounded in front of the royal city of Bingxin. In the sky, a huge abyss gate slowly opened up above the city. An abyss demon dragon extended its huge and ferocious head. A roar came from the mouth of the abyss demon dragon. In front of Wang Xian, a divine light dragon condensed. It had a dazzling white glow, a holy body, and lifelike dragon scales. It also let out a dragon roar. How can a person control both the darkness and light attributes? What a terrifying aura! How did we provoke such a powerful enemy? The Saint of Light and the Celestial Demon. How did we provoke him? This. Damn it. How dare he come to our Bingshin royal city? Who cares about the Celestial Demon or the Saint of Light? Kill him, kill him. At this moment, within the Bingshin imperial city, everyone's faces were filled with fear as they looked at the abyssal, demonic dragon and the divine light dragon in the sky. The entire huge imperial city was incomparably silent. Tens of millions of people were paying attention. Some were shocked, while others were incomparably furious. It is impossible to break our formation. Our Bingshin Empire has stood for tens of thousands of years. Without the arrival of the profound void Tier 9 formation, we can forget about breaking it. The king of Bingshin looked at the abyss demon dragon and the divine light dragon that had formed in the sky with an extremely ugly expression. He growled in a low voice. The three patriarchs also stared at them with a gloomy expression. They did not move at all. They had already witnessed the strength of Wang Xian and the hunchbacked old man. Even if the three of them joined forces to attack, they were still not a match for Wang Xian and the rest. They could only rely on the formation in the imperial city to defend and battle. Looking at the light and dark creatures in the sky, the three of them looked extremely solemn. Two dragons converging. Wang Xian stared at the two divine dragons of light and dark in the sky. One of the eyes of the two divine dragons slowly turned black. Roar! Roar! The two divine dragons circled around each other. They had the same strength, so their strength couldn't hurt the other party at all. Kill! Wang Xian waved his dragon claw. The two dragons that were circling around each other were completely entangled together. Their bodies rolled and swayed as they attacked the Bingshin Imperial City directly. You want to break through the city of our Bingshin Imperial City with just these two beasts? Dream on! Seeing the two light and dark divine dragons that were more than 100 meters in size attacking them, Ice Master Wufa waved his arm. Hum! Azure light flashed, and ripples appeared on the Ice Heart Lake. The ripples surged toward the Ice Heart Imperial City, and a palm that was about 5,000 meters long appeared in the sky. Kill these two creatures. Those who dare to attack the Ice Heart Imperial City will die. Those who offend the Ice Heart Imperial City will be killed. On the city wall, the experts in the Ice Heart Imperial City shouted in excitement when they saw the enormous palm appear. Roar! Roar! The two light-dark divine dragons stared at the palm that had completely covered them and let out a roar. Boom! The gigantic palm landed, and the two divine dragons met it head-on. A terrifying collision sound was heard, and the two light-dark divine dragons were sent flying backward. HMPH, even if you use all your strength today, don't even think about stepping into our royal city of Bingshin. Bing Fa didn't see this situation. A cold smile appeared on his face as he shouted at Wang Xian. Even if we don't attack, you won't be able to enter our Ice Heart Imperial City. Sky Demon, scram immediately. The white-bearded old man standing in the middle shouted with anger and confidence. Scram, scram for me. Damn devil, damn thing, scram for me. Even if I stand here and don't move, you won't be able to kill me. The words of the two patriarchs boosted the confidence of everyone in the Ice Heart Imperial City. They cursed at Wang Xian, who was standing outside. That's what I'm talking about. Our magnificent Ice Heart Empire has stood for tens of thousands of years. How can we be defeated so easily? Although that Sky Devil is powerful, he's still a little arrogant if he wants to destroy our Ice Heart Imperial City. Humph! That darn Sky Fiend said that he wants us to bleed for thousands of miles. Come over if you have the strength. In the quiet city, everyone's confidence was boosted when they saw the scene outside the city wall. At the beginning, they were all extremely nervous because of their fear of the name Sky Fiend. Now that they saw that the Sky Fiend could not enter at all, they immediately felt much more relaxed. Some of the hot-tempered people pointed outside and started cursing. In an instant, the entire Ice Heart Imperial City became lively. Hee hee, how interesting. I didn't expect to see such an interesting scene. In a luxurious building closest to the main city gate, more than 10 young men and women sat on the roof with smiles on their faces. From their positions, they could clearly see everything outside. A young man glanced around with interest on his face as he said with a smile, "That's right. The Sky Demon has come to attack the Bingshin Imperial City. This is a matter that will shake the vast region." A young man beside him echoed with a smile, "Humph! So what if it's the Sky Demon? It's still watching from the outside." A few young men dressed in the uniform of the Bingshin Imperial family said with cold expressions, "Haha, but the Sky Demon is very powerful to be able to force you to this point." The youth dressed in golden clothes in the middle smiled and looked outside. They didn't care that the Sky Demon wanted to destroy the Ice Heart dynasty. Even if the city gate was breached, they weren't worried at all. Because they were disciples of the Southern Royal family, the Sky Demon did not dare to kill them and offended the Southern Royal family instead. Hee hee, this is only the beginning. Outside the city gate, Wang Xian heard the curses and taunts coming from within the imperial city. A hint of a cold smile appeared on his face. He slowly extended 2 dragon claws. The light-dark, divine dragon that was sent flying backward swayed its body and continued to circle together. "Destroy!" With a low roar, the light-dark, divine dragons once again flew toward the city wall. "Stubborn fools, continue!" Seeing the 2 light-dark, divine dragons attacking again, a cold expression appeared on Frost-Faceless Ice's face. He waved his arm, and the huge palm of light struck out again. Roar! Roar! The light-dark, divine dragons' heads were close together, and they let out a dragon roar at the same time. The huge palm landed on their heads, and waves of power entered their bodies. The strongest part of the light and dark Tai Chi is its defense and transfer. The power that falls on the body of the light and dark divine dragon is transferred to the dark divine dragon, and the power that attacks the dark divine dragon is transferred to the body of the light and dark divine dragon. The 2 powers collide and cancel each other out. As long as they don't exceed the limit of the light and dark divine dragon, they won't be injured. Other than that, they can also borrow the other party's attack to fight with strength, borrow strength, and fight with strength. This is the true essence of the light and dark Tai Chi. Wang Xian stared at the 2 divine dragons as he muttered. Following that, his body shook. Break! A loud roar came out from Wang Xian's mouth. Streams of water formed around the 2 divine dragons. The huge palm melted slowly as waves of water energy rotated. Roar! Roar! 2 dragon roars were heard. The light and dark divine dragons carried the water energy around them and attacked Bingshin Royal Palace directly. Chapter 1590. 1590 dyed the sky red. What? It actually withstood the attack of the defensive formation. Outside the city wall, when everyone saw the water energy palm within a 5-kilometer radius dissipate, their faces revealed an embarrassed expression. Don't be afraid, our Imperial City's defensive formation, unless the profound void Tier 9 makes a move. Otherwise, it will not break. The Ice Heart King looked at the 2 light and dark divine dragons with a gloomy expression. The 3 old men stood on the city wall expressionlessly as they watched coldly. Rumble! The light and dark divine dragons that carried a huge amount of water energy crashed directly into the formation, and a rumbling sound like thunder resounded. The entire imperial city seemed to tremble. Humph! The 3 old ancestors looked at the spot where the light and dark divine dragons crashed and snorted coldly. Although the formation was trembling there were no cracks at all. With the powerful impact force, it was impossible to break the defensive formation. Sky Demon, if you still can't break it, we will go back to sleep. Bing Jinghuan stared at Wang Xian outside with a ferocious look and said mockingly, "Huh." When the crowd heard Bing Jinghuan's words and saw that there were no cracks in the formation, they laughed out loud. "Soon, all of you will be able to rest in peace." Wang Xian's gaze swept across Bing Jinghuan. A hint of a smile and a hint of fury appeared on his face. "Next, prepare to die." Light and darkness ablation. Wang Xian let out a wild roar and waved his arm. A wave of light energy landed on the divine dragon of light. Roar, roar. The light and darkness instantly lost their balance. The power of the divine dragon of light was slightly stronger than that of the divine dragon of darkness. Only a sliver of power broke through the divine dragon of light and darkness. The two powers began to corrode at a terrifying speed. The two divine dragons of light and darkness intertwined together, and the corrosive power landed on the defensive formation of the Ice Heart Imperial City. How terrifying was the power of the corrosive power of light and darkness! The soul of darkness entered a person's body. If one wanted to clear the soul of darkness, one had to find a powerful, radiant priest to expel it. This was because, in the process of expelling the soul of darkness, the corrosion of light and darkness could instantly kill a person. The power of the corrosion caused by the two extreme energies could erupt with a destructive power that was even more terrifying than that of a single elemental energy. This energy was like the destructive power of the 5 elements that countered each other. Zzz. An ear-piercing sound suddenly rang out. The power of the corrosion of light and darkness landed on the defensive formation and instantly corroded it. In front of this destructive power, a small crack slowly appeared on the array formation. Oh no, he actually sacrificed those 2 level 8 profound void realm energy creatures to break the array formation. When a crack appeared, everyone from the Ice Heart Empire revealed terrified expressions. "Attack, stop him." The white-bearded old man, standing in the middle, had a drastic change in expression. He waved his arm, and an azure-colored staff appeared in his hand. He pointed the staff forward, and a water pillar that was 1,000 meters long was formed instantly. It charged towards the light and dark divine dragons. "Use your strength to fight against strength." Wang Xian waved his arm and caused the 2 light and dark divine dragons to maintain the balance between light and dark. The water pillar that was 10 meters thick charged towards the light and dark divine dragons like a torrent that had opened a floodgate. This force of impact could turn an ordinary, insightful void martial artist into a pool of blood. Boom, boom, boom. However, this terrifying force was instead directly transferred to the array formation of the Ice Heart Empire. The cracks on the array hair were even bigger. Not good. The white-bearded elder's expression changed drastically when he saw this scene. "Prepare for battle." He hurriedly raised the staff in his hand and roared loudly. "What? The array formation is about to be broken? How is this possible? Wasn't it just? Oh my God, not good. The Sky Demon is about to charge in. Don't be afraid. We 3 patriarchs are fighting against 2 opponents. We will definitely win." On the city wall, everyone's expression changed instantly. Their previously calm and even arrogant expressions were filled with fear. "Break for me." Wang Xian roared, and the light-dark divine dragon melted rapidly. The corrosive power caused a huge hole in the formation. Following that, the sound of the formation breaking could be heard. The formation was slowly disappearing. "Kill." Wang Xian revealed a ghastly expression. He raised his dragon claw and activated the Dragon Kingdom in his palm instantly. "Kiki, the slaughter has begun." The hunchbacked old man took a deep look at Wang Xian and let out a shrill cry. Demonic shadows appeared around him one after another. The demonic shadows appeared one after another. In just 2 seconds, there were over 10,000 of them. Each of the demonic shadows exuded a sinister and terrifying aura. The hunchbacked old man also brought out his true strength. He was extremely dedicated to destroying the Bingxin Empire. He wanted to perform well so that Wang Xian could help him get rid of the dark soul in his body. Let's fight! Let's fight! All Void Whole Realm experts attack! The instant the formation was broken, Bing Fa Wu's expression changed drastically. They had witnessed the strength of the sky demon and the hunchbacked old man. It was definitely not something that the 3 patriarchs could withstand. Only by using all the experts in the entire Bingxin Imperial City would there be hope. No one is allowed to retreat. The Bingxin Empire is in a life-and-death situation. Anyone who disobeys will be killed without mercy. The heart of the king of Bingxin was beating violently as well. He hurriedly ordered loudly, "Yes, kill." At this moment, everyone on the city wall felt their hearts sink when they saw Wang Xian and the hunchbacked old man charging over. Especially when they heard the orders from the patriarchs and the king, their expressions became even more awkward. To ask everyone above the void interpretation realm to make a move, it was obvious that the 3 patriarchs were unable to stop the other party. Roar, roar, the slaughter has begun. Wang Xian raised his head and roared. Dragon head under the heavens. Dragon body of 10,000 miles. Kill. In an instant, Wang Xian released his strongest strength. A terrifying divine dragon that was more than 10 kilometers long appeared in front of the Ice Heart Imperial City in an instant. The divine dragon exuded a terrifying demonic aura. It opened its mouth and spat out a mouthful of dragon flames. It attacked the city directly. Go! Go! The 3 patriarchs looked at each other with a determined, killing intent in their eyes. Boom! The 3 of them waved their arms. A tsunami-like sound was heard as they attacked the dragon flames that Wang Xian spat out. The consequence of provoking our boss devil will be the destruction of the nation. In the sky, over 10,000 stooped old men spat out a line of words in unison. Following that, over 10,000 figures flew towards the inner part of the royal city of Bingxin. Damn it, stop him! The white-bearded patriarch's expression changed drastically when he saw the hunchbacked old man charging towards him. He moved his body and was about to go up to meet them. The 3 of you, stay here. Devil scale chains, darkness. Wang Xian waved his dragon claw. Terrifying chains extended out from the abyss and blocked the white-bearded patriarch directly. At the same time, the dark energy in the light and darkness enveloped the surroundings. Bastard! How dare you fight 3 against 1? Kill him as soon as possible, and then kill the other one. When the long-haired elder saw that Wang Xian wanted to trap the 3 of them here, he roared furiously. Quick! Kill him as soon as possible. Chapter 1591. 1591 dyed the world red. The 3 ancestors of the Bingxin dynasty revealed furious expressions. This arrogant sky fiend actually dared to pin down the 3 of them in a 1-on-3 fight. This caused the killing intent in their hearts to soar to the clouds. They looked at each other, their eyes filled with viciousness. Kill! They had to kill him as soon as possible, and then kill the other one. Aspect, wrath of the sea god. Aspect, wrath of the sea god. Aspect, wrath of the sea god. Without any hesitation, the 3 of them unleashed their powerful aspect attacks. 3 identical aspect attacks charged towards Wang Xian. Boss devil, if you can't hold on, give me a shout. Outside, I'll help you kill. He he he. The hunchbacked old man swept his gaze in the direction of Wang Xian. His slightly reddened eyes were staring at the majestic and magnificent city ahead. I will dye the blood of this lake red. 10,000 shades of annihilation, The hunchbacked old man roared. One by one, the demon shadows pounced towards the city wall. Stop him! The king of Bingshin shouted in fear when he saw an expert at level 8 of the see-through realm charging over. Kill! The group of profound void tier 7, 6, and 5 experts looked at the devils, gritting their teeth as they charged over. Facing a profound void tier 8 expert to them, this was simply courting death. However, at this moment they had no other choice. I hope the forefather and the rest kill that sky devil as soon as possible, otherwise. Everyone stared at the demon's shadow, their faces filled with determination. With just a bunch of ants like you. The tens of thousands of demon shadows glanced at the thousands of insightful emptiness realm experts who were attacking them with disdain in their eyes. Then they reached out with a ferocious claw. Ah! In an instant, a miserable cry sounded. Jia, jia, jia! A sinister and terrifying voice came from the hunchbacked old man's mouth. Only 5,000 of the demon shadows were completely blocked. The other half of the demonic shadows charged straight into the city wall. The bloody demonic shadows waved their demonic claws, attacking indiscriminately. If they met someone, they would directly charge over. A blood-curdling scream instantly resounded throughout the entire Ice Heart Imperial City's city wall. Demonic shadow explosion. Right at this moment, a voice suddenly came from behind. Boom, boom, boom. To everyone's horror, the tens of thousands of devils suddenly exploded. A terrifying, corrosive power of darkness spread out in all directions. Ah, 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 ah. Yet another miserable cry sounded out. Awesome. Come, take another move from me, great son of darkness. All the devils disappeared. In front of the city wall, the hunchbacked old man raised both his hands, and a great sun of darkness slowly appeared above his head. It was a sun that was like the sun. Unlike the sun, the entire sun was filled with violent dark energy. The entire dark sun floated 10,000 meters high in the sky, with a diameter of 5 to 6 kilometers. Enjoy the darkness. The hunchbacked old man excitedly ran directly into the Ice Heart Imperial City. Oh my God! They are too terrifying. What can we use to defend against them? At this moment, on the city walls and within the city walls, everyone's faces were filled with terror as they stared at the terrifying great sun. The great dark sun was like a meteorite as it descended towards the inner regions of the Bingshin Imperial City. Jing Huan, hurry up and escape to the lone sect. The Bingshin king stared at Bing Jing Huan by the side as he shouted anxiously, Father, let's leave together. Bing Jing Huan's face was filled with fear as he exclaimed, How can I leave? This is the root of our Ice Heart Empire. I'm the king here, I can't leave. The Ice Heart King gritted his teeth as he stared at the great dark sun that was charging over. A few 7th-level profound void martial experts tried to resist, but they were directly melted by the great dark Sunday, hitting a rock with an egg. With their strength, they were simply hitting a rock with an egg. Boom! The great dark sun descended, and the city walls were like paper, directly shattering. Wang! The moment it descended, the great dark sun directly exploded. The area of the great dark sun's radiation had reached a radius of dozens of kilometers. At this moment, a radius of dozens of kilometers fell into darkness. Ah! The terrifying dark energy made millions of people scream in pain. One move had caused rivers of blood to flow, and one move had destroyed 1/5 of the entire Ice Heart Imperial City. One move had only allowed a few rank 7 and rank 6 profound void martial artists to escape the range of the great dark sun's attack. Panic and death instantly covered the entire Ice Heart Imperial City. Just what kind of existence has our Icy Heart Empire provoked? The Sky Demon once destroyed millions of lives in the ancient Demon City. Today, Is he going to destroy tens of millions of lives in our icy heart imperial city? Behind the main cities, tens of millions of people watched this world-destroying attack as their bodies trembled. Only at this moment did they realize that they were no different from ants. Kiki, this move feels so good. Everyone in the Ice Heart Imperial City kneeled down. Otherwise, we don't mind destroying the city. The evil aura of the hunchbacked old man spread out in all directions. The surrounding demon snakes were useless. A 10-meter-wide dark sun stood behind them. He ordered the tens of millions of people in the Ice Heart Imperial City. Hearing the stooped old man's words, everyone looked extremely embarrassed. They looked at the place in the sky that was covered in darkness. There, the horrifying battle and the impact formed a huge mushroom cloud in the sky. The 3 ancestors of the Bingxin dynasty were still inside, but they hadn't come out yet. The dozens of experts of the Bingxin dynasty who were hiding from the great dark sun near the city wall looked at the stooped old man in fear. Kiki, I like your hesitation. The hunchbacked old man saw everyone standing there in a daze. He didn't hesitate at all. He waved his arm and unleashed terrifying attacks towards the imperial city. He didn't show any mercy at all. In terms of means, even Wang Xian couldn't compare to the hunchbacked old man. Ah, let's kneel, let's kneel. Don't kill us. It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. No. One attack after another, at least hundreds of thousands of people died at the hands of the hunchbacked old man. His cruel means terrified everyone. In the entire imperial city, tens of millions of people were kneeling on the ground. Some were praying loudly while others were crying. At the side, the 3 insightful void martial artists and the group of level 6 insightful void martial artists standing beside the king of Bingxin were trembling. King, should we also kneel? A level 6 insightful void martial artist asked in fear. Do you think that the sky demon will let us go if we kneel? The Bingxin king said with a slight tremble. His face was full of regret. How could he have thought that the Saint Prince of Light, who looked kind, would be the extremely cruel sky demon? He swept his gaze across his surroundings. Fresh blood gathered and flowed into the Ice Heart Lake in front of him. Especially in front of him, the river water had already been dyed red by millions of fresh blood. The river water reflected into the sky and dyed the entire sky red. It was like the end of the world. Chapter 1592. 1592. 1592. The destruction of the Ice Heart Empire. With the character of the Sky Devil, would he let us off if he kneeled? The words of the Ice Heart King caused a look of despair to appear in the eyes of the Type 7 and Type 6 insightful Void Realm experts. They looked at the center of the mushroom cloud that covered an area of over 10 kilometers. Energy surged, but there was still no victor. It had been nearly 10 minutes. The 3 of them had besieged a Sky Devil, but they still could not take him down. Then, why did we provoke him in the first place? A rank 7 insightful Void Realm expert gritted his teeth and growled weakly. If we knew that Priest Wang was a Sky Devil, would we have provoked him? Bingxin King turned to look at the old man beside him expressionlessly and said calmly, "The mistake is that we should not betray others for the sake of obtaining greater benefits." As he spoke, a bitter smile and despair appeared on his face. At this moment, he understood very clearly that if they hadn't been ungrateful, the Bingxin dynasty wouldn't have been destroyed. Kiki, it's a little too late to understand now. The stooped old man looked over, his eyes filled with disdain. His figure moved, and the devil hands behind him enveloped the group of the king of Bingxin Kingdom. I'm not satisfied. Why did you make a mistake? Let us take the blame. An expert at the 6th rank of the profound void martial stage shouted with a face full of unwillingness. However, facing the full strength attack of the hunchbacked old man, they didn't have the strength to resist. In fact, at this moment, The Ice Heart King and several experts at the 7th rank of the Profound Void Martial stage had already given up on resisting. Pooh, pooh, pooh. The sound of tearing could be heard, and it was exceptionally clear in the entire silent city. All the people kneeling on the ground looked up and saw their king and their emperor's body being brutally torn apart. The Ice Heart Empire was finished. The rest of you don't have to worry. No matter how cruel Boss Devil and I are, it's impossible for us to destroy tens of millions of lives. However, the Ice Heart Empire's royal family must die. Kiki. As the hunchbacked old man spoke, he waved his arm, and the pulsing ball of blood instantly flew in front of him. Through the ball of blood, he was able to sense every single member of the Ice Heart Empire's royal family. TSK, there are still a few who aren't dead. His figure flashed, and he instantly appeared in the sky above the ruins within the city. He waved his arm. Rumble. A group of figures appeared in his line of sight. More than 20 young men were enveloped in a formation, dodging the attacks of the Great Dark Sunday. 10 of the young men had pale faces as they looked at the hunchbacked old man with despair. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Seeing the hunchbacked old man staring at them with a smile on his face, they shouted in terror. Senior. The other 10 or so young men in golden clothing looked at the old man with respect in their eyes. They immediately bowed their hands, and a young man in the middle spoke. Kneel down and tell me. I'll give you 2 seconds. The old man glanced at them mockingly and said faintly. The 10 or so young men in golden clothing were slightly stunned, and a hint of displeasure flashed in the eyes of the young man in the lead. Senior, I am. He cupped his hands once again. Kiki, you are all ants. The hunchbacked old man waved his arm, and a terrifying energy directly attacked downwards. No, Senior, we are the Southern Emperor. Ka. The group of young men hurriedly shouted with faces full of fear, but before they could finish their words, the dark energy directly descended, instantly killing them. Southern Emperor FUCK. The hunchbacked old man muttered as the dark flames in his eyes flashed past. Kiki, continue. After I kill all of you, I'll kill those 3 old things. The hunchbacked old man moved. In less than a second, the entire city was filled with endless screams. Everyone knelt on the ground, shivering as they listened to the screams around them. Boss Devil, let me help you. Kill the last 3 old things. I've already killed the rest of the members of the Ice Heart Dynasty's royal family. How was it, Boss Devil? My performance wasn't bad, right? The hunchbacked old man shouted as the demonic chi on his body slowly rose. In a short 2 seconds, his entire body turned into a 1,000-meter-wide dark demon. His figure directly charged into the enormous mushroom cloud. At this moment, the 3 patriarchs of the Ice Heart Dynasty inside the mushroom cloud heard his voice, and their bodies trembled violently. You actually exterminated all of us from the Ice Clan. When the 3 patriarchs heard this news, they were extremely shocked. The Ice Clan, an entire Ice Clan. For the sake of their entire clan, all of their clansmen had worked hard for tens of thousands of years to establish the current Ice Heart Dynasty. However, all of them had been annihilated. Boom! Just as their hearts were burning with fury and they did not dare to accept it, a terrifying demonic shadow directly attacked them. Pooh! The long-haired old man was struck by the black shadow and instantly spat out a mouthful of blood. We are not their match. Ice Faceless shouted with a face full of terror. At first, they thought that they could easily kill the Sky Demon by fighting 3 against 1. However, when they started fighting, they finally understood what fear was. The Sky Demon had turned into a terrifying, dark creature. When their destructive attacks landed on the opponent immediately turned into a light creature. However, with a heal, all the injuries on their bodies were healed and they turned into dark creatures to fight with them. This was fucking cheating. In the 10 minutes of fighting, the other party was not injured at all. On the contrary, every one of them was wounded. Now, another hunchbacked elder, who was much stronger than them, had come. Fa Wu, we will hold them off. You go to the lone cult immediately and preserve the roots of the Ice Heart dynasty. In the future, we must take revenge. We must kill them, their families, and all of them. The white-bearded old man's eyes were bloodshot as he shouted at Bing Fa Wu. Big brother, I'll leave it to you. We'll hold them off for you. The long-haired old man's face was filled with despair. Kill them. The two patriarchs of the Bingxin dynasty charged at Wang Xian and the stooped old man with all their might. Are you desperate? The stooped old man showed a look of disdain. Then go to hell. How does it feel to provoke our boss demon? TSK. He roared with a heart-wrenching voice. The demon figure wrapped around his body, opened its terrifying fangs, and lunged at the long-haired old man. Like a demon, it devoured humans. Don't worry, you will all die. It's just a matter of time. Wang Xian watched as the white-bearded elder charged at Bing Fa Wu with all his might to let him escape. There was no change in his expression. If I don't take revenge, I, Bing Fa Wu, will not be a human. I will return the favor with a sea of blood. Bing Fa Wu roared with bloodshot eyes. As he spoke, he fled into the distance, while trembling. Wang Xian, smiled disdainfully. His dragon claws crushed the white-bearded elder directly. There will no longer be an Ice Heart dynasty in this world. He stared at the Ice Fa Wu, who was trying his best to escape dozens of kilometers away, and roared coldly. His voice spread throughout the entire world. Chapter 1593. 1593. 1593. The destruction of the Ice Heart dynasty. There will be no more Ice Heart dynasty in this world. In the Ice Heart Imperial City, everyone looked at the two black shadows in the sky. Their hearts were filled with shock and fear. The Ice Heart dynasty, which had stood for 10,000 years, had fallen just like that. It had fallen at the hands of a young man. It was all because of a woman. Everyone in the Bingxin Empire was in a daze. The smell of blood permeated the entire city, and countless corpses lay on the ground. The Bingxin Lake was like blood, and the sky was like blood. Gather all the resources in the Bingxin Imperial City and leave. Wang Xian returned to his human form. In order to balance the light and darkness, his body emitted a faint aura of light. His holy appearance made him look like a saint who was not from the mortal world. Even a glance at him would make one feel extremely comfortable. However, it was this kind of person who had just destroyed an entire first-rate strength and a powerful empire. Its boss devil. The stooped old man looked at Wang Xian's appearance and felt slightly uncomfortable. He nodded immediately and flew towards the royal palace of the Bingxin Empire. Wang Xian waved his arm, and all the corpses on the ground were stored into his interspatial ring. It was impossible for him to not want the resources of a first-rate force after destroying it. He could even increase the strength of the entire Dragon Palace by relying on this resource. Half an hour later, Wang Xian and the hunchbacked old man left the royal palace of Bingxin. At this moment, the rest of the people in the royal palace of Bingxin dared to stand up. They looked at the two disappearing figures with fear on their faces. However, at that moment, the news of the Ice Heart Empire's destruction immediately spread throughout the vast region. Especially in the Divine Kingdom ruins, everyone was in an uproar. A sky fiend destroyed a first-rate faction. This is simply unbelievable. Even if a sky fiend killed the supreme elder of the lone sect and destroyed the Ice Heart Empire, it is still shocking. As expected of the Sky Demon, the eternal Bingxin Empire is not a Sky Demon. The Bingxin Empire lost its 10,000-year foundation because of a woman. How ironic. They might have thought that Priest Wang was easy to bully. In the end, they didn't expect him to be a Sky Demon. TSK, he brought this upon himself. In the entire ruins of the Divine Kingdom, everyone was discussing the matter of Wang Xian destroying the Bingxin Empire. As for the powerful faction, they were thinking more. The Bingxin Empire's strength was not considered weak among first-rate factions. Even so, it was still destroyed. Even the imperial city was destroyed. One could imagine the strength of the Sky Demon. It was not an exaggeration to say that the Sky Demon's strength alone was comparable to a first-rate faction. If Skyfiend can survive, it will truly shock the entire vast region. Everyone thought to themselves. Skyfiend had destroyed the Ice Heart Empire, destroyed the Solway sect's base in the Divine Kingdom ruins, and killed the Grand Elder and a group of core disciples and elders. This was a huge provocation to the Solway sect. This time, even the Solway sect's supreme sect leader and the Solway sect's ancestor would take action. It was hard to say if the Skyfiend would be able to survive this. It has been more than 10,000 years. No one has dared to provoke our Solitaire sect, right? At that moment, in the Solitaire peak of the vast Solitaire Mountains, an elder was sitting in the hall with an expressionless face. The Solitaire Mountains were formed from a total of 108 green mountains that were 10,000 meters tall. Every mountain peak was majestic and magnificent. In particular, the supreme mountain peak in the middle was like a giant between heaven and earth, looking down on the entire land. In the grand hall of the supreme mountain peak, more than 100 people stood in the hall. At this moment, the atmosphere in the hall was somewhat solemn. The voice of the old man sitting at the top, which didn't have the slightest bit of emotion, caused everyone's hearts to tremble. It has been 11,231 years since someone dared to provoke us like this. Below, an old man with a head full of white hair said faintly, 11,231 years ago, what was the outcome of provoking us? At that time, we didn't even exist. However, I really want to know the outcome of that faction. The old man at the very top slowly asked. If I remember correctly, they implicated the 9 clans. Anything related to them should all be exterminated. The white-haired elder below said slowly, Then we will follow the actions of our ancestors. We cannot lose the face of our ancestors. The elder at the top said slowly, Supreme Sect Master, we have already obtained all the information about the Heavenly Devil King's priest. He comes from the Flowing Sea region, and the current largest faction in the Flowing Sea region has a great relationship with him. The most outstanding young man in the He clan now has a very good relationship with him, and Bing Jian, a middle-aged man beside him, stood out and said with a frown, Announce to the world that in 7 days, Ao Tian and Bing Jian, I will hold a wedding and invite all the forces to come. If that Sky Demon appears, kill him on the spot. If he doesn't appear, kill He Yuan of the He clan. After that, I will personally head to the Flowing Sea region and pay tribute to the disciples of our Supreme Headmaster with billions of lives. The elder at the front was naturally the Supreme Sect leader of the sect. He announced to everyone with an expressionless face. Upon hearing the Supreme Sect leader's announcement, the more than 100 experts of the sect were not surprised. It's the Supreme Sect leader. Everyone cupped their hands respectfully. When the Sky Demon dared to destroy the base in the ruins of their divine kingdom, when the Sky Demon dared to kill the disciples of the sect, his fate, as well as the fate of everyone around him, had already been decided. This was the truth. This was order. The order of the solipsistic sect. No one was angry. No one was furious. There was always someone who wanted to die. Whether it was Pastor Wang or the Sky Demon, in the eyes of the solipsistic sect, it was the same. Dead people. Reporting to the Supreme Sect Master, the patriarch of the Bingxin dynasty is here. At this moment, a middle-aged man came in and reported loudly, there are still people alive in the Bingxin dynasty. Let him in. The Supreme Leader said lightly, Supreme Leader, you have to make a decision for the Bingxin dynasty. A sorrowful voice was heard. Bing Fa Wu, brought Bing Jing Huan to the hall and said with a sorrowful face, "Bing Jing, Huan escaped in advance and was met by Bing Fa Wu along the way. We have already learned about what happened in your Bingxin dynasty. It's just right. In 7 days, you will attend as Bing Jian Yar's family. As for your Bingxin dynasty in the future, our only sect will help you reclaim your city and ensure your safety for 5,000 years." The supreme headmaster said indifferently. Bing Fa Wu and Bing Jing were slightly stunned. Then their expressions became much better. They quickly bowed and said, "Thank you, Supreme Headmaster." "All right, let's go." The Supreme Headmaster waved his hand at everyone. Yes, everyone immediately left. The Supreme Headmaster sat at the top and looked at the information in front of him. If it wasn't for the existence of the Holy Tree in the He clan, this matter would be enough to exterminate the entire He clan. His mumbling voice rang out, and his figure instantly disappeared from his seat. The tyranny of the solipsistic sect was so terrifying. Chapter 1594. 1594 was the most powerful. Latest news. In the Bingxin royal city, the Sky Demon is fighting 3 rank 8 insightful void martial artists. The hunchbacked old man beside him killed all the members of the royal family by himself. It is said that only one ancestor and the 9th prince survived. The bloodline of the royal family almost ended. The only sect should have received the news by now. I wonder how the only sect will react. Will a top-tier void interpretation level 9 powerhouse take action directly? They will definitely take action. No one has dared to provoke the only sect like this for tens of thousands of years. This time a grand elder has died. The only sect will definitely not let the matter rest. In the ruins of the Divine Kingdom, after everyone was shocked by the destruction of the Ice Heart Empire and the powerful Sky Fiend, they immediately discussed the Lone Faction. This incident was not only related to the Sky Fiend and Ice Heart Empire, it was also related to the Lone Faction, one of the 3 superpowers in the vast region. For such a powerful faction that had been established for tens of thousands of years, it was impossible for a base to be destroyed and a disciple to be killed so easily, especially since the other party was the most domineering of the 3 superfactions, the solipsistic sect. In heaven and on earth, the solipsistic sect ruled supreme. This was the slogan and banner of the solipsistic sect. Boss Devil, these are all the treasures in the Ice Heart Empire. Also, this interspatial ring is mine. Everything in it is my property. Look, can you expel the darkness soul from my body? At this moment, on the 5th floor of a manor in the ruins of the Kingdom of God, Wang Xian sat there quietly. The hunchbacked old man beside him was fawning over him with a smile on his face. He kept rubbing his hands and looked at Wang Xian nervously. "Are you sure you won't kill me after I get rid of the dark soul in your body?" Wang Xian looked at the hunchbacked old man and said faintly. Although he hadn't spent much time with the hunchbacked old man, Wang Xian had some understanding of him. This old man was definitely not a good person in the past. It wasn't an exaggeration to call him a devil. He killed millions of people without even blinking an eye. Even Wang Xian couldn't do it. Moreover, the means of the bloodline was abnormally cruel. Although the hunchbacked old man had atoned for his sins, he couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't attack him after he cured the other party. After all, the old man had suffered a lot during this period of time. Furthermore, Wang Xian could vaguely guess the old man's previous realm. He wasn't his match. How could you, boss demon? I'm not a despicable person like the Ice Heart Empire. I will never repay kindness with enmity. The old man said hurriedly, "Do you think I will believe you? When my strength breaks through, or I find a way, I will help you expel the darkness soul in your body." Wang Xian looked at him indifferently and said directly, "This." The stooped old man's face fell immediately. He was a little embarrassed. "Little brother Wang Xian, Something bad has happened. At this moment, sect leader Ling's anxious voice was heard. There's news about Jian. When Wang Xian saw sect leader Ling walking over anxiously, he stood up with a slightly nervous expression and stared at him. There's news from our sect. Sect leader Ling said with a slightly embarrassed expression. What news? Wang Xian asked quickly. 7 days later, our sect invited all the forces in the vast region to attend Ao Tian and Jian Er's wedding. Sect leader Ling's face was gloomy as he said weakly to Wang Xian, This is the only news. Wang Xian's face turned ugly as his eyes flashed with killing intent. This is the only news. Our sect is only releasing this news. Sect Masterling said with a bitter face. Wang Xian had destroyed many disciples of our sect. However, our sect was only announcing this news. Facing the threat from Wang Xian and the Sky Demon who had destroyed the Bingxin Empire, they completely ignored it and didn't take it seriously at all. They didn't fly into a rage. Instead, they announced the wedding between Ao Tian and Jian first. This silent attitude showed the dominance of the Solitaire sect. As for what the Solitaire sect would do next, it would probably be carried out after the wedding. The rules were orderly and unhurried. It was disregard and contempt. The position of the great sect was fully displayed. I have to force Jian or to marry someone else. Wang Xian held his arm tightly as a crazy killing intent shot out from his eyes. The wedding ceremony will be held at the Yingtian peak of the sect. At the base of the sect leader Ling's face was filled with helplessness. Even with Wang Xian's strength and the might of the Sky Demon, he wouldn't be able to walk out of the place where the sect was established. Not to mention Wang Xian, even the other two superpowers didn't dare to bring their men to attack that place directly. That was the place where a superpower had been established for tens of thousands of years. The danger was unimaginable. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to rescue Ling Jian Er from there. Phew! Wang Xian exhaled heavily as an icy cold aura emanated from his body. Let me prepare for this matter. Even if I can't bring Jian back, she won't be harmed in any way. Wang Xian assured sect leader Ling. Little brother Wang Xian, don't be rash. Sect leader Ling saw Wang Xian's determined expression, and his expression changed slightly. He quickly said, Don't worry, I will do as I wish. Wang Xian shook his head as a hint of madness flashed in his eyes. This sect leader Ling looked at him, nodded his head, and left with a heavy heart. Wang Xian turned around and looked at the hunchbacked old man. Boss Devil, with my current strength, it's a dead end for me to go to our sect. Unless you get rid of the dark soul in my body, at that time, with my strength, our sect will be afraid of you. At that time, we will threaten you together. Only our sect will return Miss Ling Jian or safely to you. The old man saw Wang Xian staring at him. His eyes sparkled as he said hurriedly, Sure. Wang Xian nodded his head. Really? A hint of excitement flashed across the old man's eyes as he stared at Wang Xian with anticipation. I want to make a complete preparation. Wang Xian stared at the stooped old man and revealed a smile on his face. Looking at his strange smile, the stooped old man actually had a bad premonition. What kind of preparation? The stooped old man looked at him with some hesitation and asked, Of course, it's to be prepared for certain death. Wang Xian smiled. His smile was filled with viciousness. Since the solipsistic sect was so arrogant, they didn't put him in their eyes at all. Since they didn't put his threat in their eyes, then let them take him seriously and suffer a little. Death was the thing that everyone in this world feared the most. However, to Wang Xian, death wasn't scary. He had died once, but he could die a second time, risking his life. If that was not possible, then he would go crazy. Chapter 1595. 1595. 1595. If he didn't go crazy, he wouldn't be able to survive. You, boss devil, are you crazy? Are you confident that you will die? This. When the old man heard Wang Xian's words, he felt as though he had a million curses in his heart. Confident that he would die. There was actually someone who was confident that he would die. What the fuck? Was there something wrong with his brain? He was a lunatic. The old man's face was extremely dark as he stared at Wang Xian. His heart was filled with anger, but he didn't dare to get angry. You should be prepared for certain death. I don't want to die. Don't worry, I won't let you die. You are still useful. Wang Xian looked at the stooped old man's uncertain expression and revealed a faint smile. Anyone who heard Wang Xian's words would feel crazy. However, if one didn't go crazy, one wouldn't be able to survive. It's not certain if you will die. What if you survive? Wang Xian smiled as his eyes sparkled. With a move of his palm, a bright ball of light appeared in his hand. The ball of light contained extremely terrifying spiritual energy. Myriad Origin Spirit, Level 1 Longevity. The spiritual energy contained in it was equivalent to Level 1 Longevity. This treasure was found in the land of formations of the Bingxin Empire. All the formations in the Bingxin Imperial City relied on this myriad origin spirit to provide energy. Exchange for a violent blood pill. Wang Xian checked the treasury in the system, and a violent blood pill appeared in his hand. Violent blood pill. Level 8 Void Interpretation. By burning his flesh and blood, he could unleash a combat strength that exceeded his own strength. With the current resources in Wang Xian's hands, it was not enough to increase his strength. In that case, he could only use another way to increase his strength. Wang Xian rarely used the treasury in the system because the items that he needed to exchange for were too high in dragon energy. It was not worth it. The core of the invincible divine dragon nurturing system was the word nurture. The path of invincibility required one to be grounded. By relying on the various functions of the system, one was destined to not be able to stand at the peak. However, there were some items that Wang Xian still needed to exchange for. Next, I will expel the dark soul in your body. Wang Xian looked at the two items in his hands and said to the hunchbacked old man, Boss demon, why do I have a bad feeling? The stooped old man looked at Wang Xian and gulped. Don't be afraid. Don't worry. I won't hurt you. I still need to rely on your strength to save Jian. However, I can't trust you. Therefore, I can only use another method to restrain you. After the deed is done, I will let you leave and I won't restrain you. Do you agree or not? Wang Xian asked the hunchbacked old man. Do I have any other choice? The hunchbacked old man said with a dark face when he heard Wang Xian's words. No. Wang Xian smiled. He moved his palm slightly and slowly grabbed towards his chest. What are you? Madman, what are you doing? What the fuck? When the old man saw Wang Xian directly grabbing towards his heart with his arm, he revealed an astonished expression. He widened his eyes and stared at Wang Xian in disbelief. It's all right, don't worry. Wang Xian smiled. Under the old man's fucking gaze, he took out a heart of light and darkness. This is the reason why you can use light and darkness. Although the stooped old man was in shock when he saw the beating heart of darkness, the abyss-like darkness and the holy hall-like light made him widen his eyes and tremble. That's right, this is my heart of light and darkness. Come, I'll lend you my heart. Wang Xian placed the myriad origin spirit in his hand at the location of his heart. In an instant, waves of powerful spiritual energy filled his entire body. It made him feel that his entire body was filled with strength. The wound on his chest was slowly healing. The heart of light and darkness was beating in his hand. Lend me your heart? Gulp. The stooped old man was completely dumbfounded. He had lived for more than 3,000 years, but this was the first time he had encountered such a strange and crazy thing. He directly dug out his own heart and lent it to me. This was still the world he knew in the past. The heart of light and darkness can replace your heart. It can expel the soul of darkness in your body. It is also a way for me to restrain you. Wang Xian said to the old man and slowly stretched out his arm. Come, give me your heart. Damn it. The hunchbacked old man's forehead was filled with cold sweat when he saw Wang Xian's crazed look. The heart and the head were vital parts to a void interpretation stage powerhouse. Only a longevity stage powerhouse whose head was still intact after his heart was blown off could survive. Now, Wang Xian wanted him to take out his heart? That was too crazy. Don't worry, if I wanted you to die, you would have died a long time ago. Wang Xian moved his palm slightly, and the aura of the hunchbacked old man changed instantly. The suppressed darkness, soul, started to riot again. All right. I agree. Sensing the riot of the darkness soul in his body, he shouted hurriedly. He was the fish and others were the butcher. He had no choice but to agree. Boss Missouri, be gentle. I don't want to die yet. The stooped old man closed his eyes as if he was about to be raped. Wang Xian smiled. He moved his arm and grabbed at the stooped old man's heart. The stooped old man trembled and didn't dare to move. Puchi. Wang Xian grabbed the stooped old man's heart directly. At the same time, he placed the heart of light and darkness on the stooped old man's heart. Following that, he moved his arm and waves of green dragon energy wrapped around the stooped old man's heart and threw it into the storage spiritual bag. Then he threw the light and dark dragon balls into the old man's body. Hiss! Boom! The old man sucked in a breath of cold air. Then a terrifying aura spread out from his body. The soul of darkness hidden in his body revealed a terrified expression the moment the heart of light and darkness entered his body. The dark dragon balls directly swallowed it. His injuries recovered and his aura rose. The stooped old man suddenly opened his eyes, and a black light shot out from his turbid eyes. The black light landed in front of him, and half of the room instantly melted. Jia, I, Mo Shah, have returned. Jia. As he felt the terrifying demonic power circulating within his body, a ferocious expression appeared on his face. He felt that the current him was even more terrifying than when he was at his peak. Wang Xian, feel my current strength. Is it? Ah! He turned his head and stared at Wang Xian as he spoke with an unruly expression. However, before he could finish his sentence, an extremely pained expression appeared on his face. This pained expression was akin to 1,000 demons devouring one's heart. Stop acting tough. Your heart is in my hands. Furthermore, the heart in your body is mine. With just a thought from me, you will die. Wang Xian said faintly to him. Yes. I couldn't help but want to act tough. Boss Missouri, please don't blame me. The hunchbacked old man quickly gave in. He knew that he had gotten carried away.